Hello everybody. Welcome. I see some of you guys are already here in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. I have been so looking forward to teaching this class for like weeks now, and I am just so excited. Love that you guys are already here. Heather is here. Hello, Heather. I know I chatted with you quite a bit this morning, so thank you for being here. Let's see. Free to Eat Life is here. Okay, Dawn. Checking in from Woodlands, Texas. Very cool. That's outside of Houston, right? I lived in Houston for like a very short time back in my Texan era. So it's a nice place. If I'm remembering correctly, it's a pretty nice place. Let's see. Kazam. Mikkel here. Is that really your name? Mikkel? I think I like, if that is your name, I think I like your spelling better than mine, but I've never met anyone with that name. So we share a name. That is so awesome. Mikkel says, grew up writing a lot. Adulting caused me to take a long break. We can all, I think a lot of us at least, can definitely relate to that. Interested in relearning the skill. Awesome. Well, you're in the right place. Leon is here. Hello, Leon. I remember your comment from earlier, yesterday. Time's kind of bleeding together. So let's see. Desiree is here. Hello, Desiree. Victor is here, and Cryolog is here. I hope I'm saying that right. Lenice is here. Yep, that's my name, and neither have I. Oh, that is so cool. That's crazy. I cannot believe it. I never imagined someone would have that name. It's like such an unusual name. I'd never even heard of it before, besides that being my name. So very cool. Let's see, watching from Georgia, North Carolina, very cool. So we got people all over the place. Oh yeah, and I wanted to let you guys know too that Michael is my mod here in the chat. So he'll just be kind of like posting any helpful things like he did here, saying that I'm currently live. So basically I think you guys have figured that one out by now, but he'll be here to help. So before we get started, I would love to just know like kind of what your goal is with freelance writing. I know a lot of folks are like trying to do this as more of a side hustle, whereas some are like, no, I want to do this full time. So I'm curious what your specific goal is, if you were trying to do the side hustle vibe, or are you trying to do this full time? Do you have a specific income goal? Like for me, when I started out, I was like, I want to make $5,000 a month in 4 months. Like within 4 months of losing my job, I want to do that. And I did make that happen. So I'm just curious about like where you guys are at, if you guys have a specific income goal or an idea of why you want to start freelance writing. I know for me, I really wanted to travel full time. I wanted to work from home. And maybe most importantly, I wanted to make sure that I had my own financial security that did not rely on any single boss or company, right? And I think that is more important now than ever before. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'm sure you have. But it's just crazy right now. There are so many crazy things happening with the job market and layoffs pertaining to like full-time positions and stuff. All those ghost job postings. Oh my gosh, have you guys like heard about all that stuff? Have you seen all the craziness going on? Have you logged on to LinkedIn lately is basically what I'm asking, I think. Because it is just crazy. And for me right now, I cannot imagine being in that position where there's all these layoffs and like all this craziness going on. And so for me, that is one of my biggest whys or reasons for wanting to always be freelance copywriting basically is because I don't want to rely on any one company and put my financial security and stability in the hands of one company that could drop me at any moment for no reason without warning. That would not feel good. That would not feel safe to me. So Desiree is saying, oh, we had a couple other people pop in. Hello, Kimberly from Maryland, and hello, Sandra from Kenya. But Desiree is saying, I am aiming for full time because of my chronic illness. Totally understand that. Like when I started becoming ill in the past 4 years or so, I had to change my life to account for that, right? And something that I want to do for you guys too is show you that even if you're dealing with chronic health issues, yeah, you're still gonna have some hard times, of course. I have hard days. If you guys follow me, like my email newsletter and Substack, you've seen me share about that. But I want to give you hope and inspire you and let you know that if you have these chronic health issues, this can be a path for you to create financial security and stability in a way that allows for you to rest and like take care of yourself. That's really the most important thing, right? That is the thing. Let's see. Thank you guys so much for being so active in the chat, by the way. I love that. I've just been so excited to hang out with y'all. Rindy Lee, I hope I'm saying that right. If I say anyone's name incorrectly, please correct me because I want to make sure I'm saying y'all's names right. But they are saying, same here. Heather is saying disabled, $2,000 a month. So doable, Heather. So doable. I'm going to show you how that's going to work in the training today. So I'm excited. Jasmine says, I want a job that allows me to be a barista for fun. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I love that. That's your passion. So cool. And it fits right in too because you can have that income coming in as you build your freelance writing business. So that is great. I want a side hustle as an animal activist journalist mostly. I would love to clear $2,500 a month. We can absolutely get you there. We can get you there. I'm going to show you how today. Free to Eat Life says, I'm currently proofreading. That is so cool. Oh, but the pay sucks. Okay, well, that's not cool then. I've done a lot of copy editing and proofreading over the years. Need more writing income. Let's shift you into freelance copywriting because that these days is really where the big money is at, right? Even if you're a beginner, you can start where you are now. Beginner meaning copywriting. I know you obviously have some other experience, but you can start where you are now and really build up this amazing skill set that gives you the income that you want. Because I know proofreading can be way on the lower end of pay, and that's just not cutting it anymore in a 2025 world, y'all. Let's see. Coming from the marketing field, definitely been running into ghost jobs. Oh my gosh, the marketing field. It's crazy. Marketing, I know people who are like web dev, basically all the like, creative jobs. It's like the white collar recession, everyone's calling it. I mean, it is tough out there. But the good news is freelancing is thriving right now. This always happens during periods of economic downturn because companies who lay off their employees or whatever, they're going to look to freelancers for help. So that is why now is actually such a great time to start. So I am so glad that you are here, Jasmine, and everyone is here looking to learn this today. I've been a writer, the Anywhere Gardener, very cool name, by the way. I've been a writer for 20 years. Wow. The client I had been writing for 6 years closed their company and I lost my position. Yeah. So that kind of goes back, I think, to what I was saying about it's really important to not rely on any one company, but I'm so sorry that happened to you. I cannot even imagine. That must have been so stressful. So I'm really sorry that happened to you, but I do want you to know we can help you get to that income goal you want of $5,000 to $7,000 a month. Absolutely, I can help you get there and show you the process. Leon says, yes, I've logged into Indeed recently, haven't found a position yet. I know, it's so crazy, and that's why it's so important. Side note, side tip, even if you're freelancing, I want you to have a diversified clientele, not just like one retainer client, at least a few clients, right? So that's really important in today's market. $4,000 a month by August, Kimberly says. Nia says, create my own freedom. Love that. Heather says, 10 or 15 hours a week is great for me. Totally doable with your goal. I think you said is $2,000 a month. So more than doable. You might even surprise yourself and end up making double that. Like, it's totally doable, Heather. Be my own boss. That's number 1 is what Leon says. Daniel says hello from Taipei, Taiwan. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so curious, Daniel, what time is it there? Because here where I am in Portland, Oregon, it's about 5 p.m. So I'm curious what time it is in Taiwan. I want to do this part-time so I do not have to depend on a regular retail job anymore. Absolutely, y'all. Most of my work experience before I started doing this was retail and call centers. So some of the worst for someone like me personally who is very introverted and a sensitive person, those are really difficult jobs to have. So let's get you, Leon, to where you don't have to depend on a retail job anymore. Let's get you the heck out of there. Income goal is JA 150K. I'm not sure I'm understanding exactly what that means, but 150K by August. Beach Life says, my concern is AI, but AI can't create, it can only copy. You are spot on there, and we're going to talk about AI today. Absolutely. Let's see. Heather's saying LOL. Yes, 150,000 by August. That's interesting. I'll never tell anyone that they can't do something. I'm like, is that in a different currency that I'm not aware of? I'll never tell you can't do something, but what I will say is the process I'm going to teach you today will be a bit more practical than that, right? So, Leon says web developer here, but I still create code on the side too. Very cool. Okay, Daniel, good. It's not, I was worried I was making you wake up at 4 a.m. or something to come to the stream. So I'm glad it's a reasonable time. 8 a.m. is a fairly reasonable time, I think, for your morning. So you guys, why don't we jump in and get started? And I would definitely encourage you to keep your income goal in mind as we go through this, because I have some slides that specifically pertain to growing your income based on where you're at now and where your goal is. So hold on to that goal, keep it up there in your mind. And I would also encourage you to think about why that is your goal. Why do you want to do that? Leon said he doesn't want to have to depend on his retail job anymore. Maybe for some of you, you want to be able to help your family out financially. Maybe for others, you want to travel. Maybe for others, you want to really buffer your savings account, or you want to go on a big trip later this year to, I don't know, Disneyland or something like that. Universal Studios, arguably, because that's a little bit better than Disneyland. Some of you might want to fight me on that. But yeah, think about the reason why you want this, because that is what will keep you motivated and going as you learn this process and as you implement it. So I think I've said everything I want to say. I think I've said hi to everyone. So why don't we switch over to the slides? Let's see. Okay, let's switch over to the slides. I was just checking to make sure everything is good to go, but I think we're ready. So if you guys have any questions as we're going along, you can go ahead and drop them in the chat as we go, just because if you're like me and your brain is kind of foggy sometimes, I don't want you to forget it by the end when we do a Q&A. So you can just pop them in as we go, and I'll do a long ass Q&A at the end. I mean, if you guys have been to my streams before, you know I will stick here and be here to do a Q&A for a long time, as long as you guys are asking questions pretty much. So pop your questions as we go. And yeah, let me switch over to the slides and we will get started. Okay, I think we're good to go. Let me know that you guys can see the slides in the chat if you don't mind. Let's see here. Looks like it is working. We are good to go. All right. This is what we are talking about today, my friends. This is a step-by-step proven framework, by the way. Nothing you're learning today is ideas or random things that I just came up with and decided to put on here. This is a proven framework based on my 10 years of experience and my proprietary process. So this is the exact process for building a 5 to 8 grand a month freelance writing business, working 25 hours per week or less, or if you want to go crazy and work a little bit more, who's going to stop you, right? Not me. So this works even if you have no portfolio currently, no niche currently, no samples currently, and no experience. Whether you're a total beginner or you are, I know some of you guys mentioned you have some experience, but you want more clients and more money, basically. Either one of those situations, you are in the right place today, my friend. So we've already talked about this a little, but to reiterate, I don't know about y'all, but I've never been a fan of working some crappy job, shout out to retail and call centers, for me at least, where I'm unappreciated, underpaid, and micromanaged, which is why for me, I wanted to start freelance writing in the first place. Desiree says, no joke. Yes, absolutely, no joke. But the typical how to get freelance writing clients advice online for me personally was just not vibing with me, okay? It didn't sit right with me, and I was like, I don't think that's my vibe. Because using Fiverr and Upwork, even though a lot of people say to do that, landing clients that way doesn't actually create a livable writing income. Have you guys used these sites? Because what I found is there's simply too much competition in today's market, specifically today's 2025 market. And many writers on those sites are going to end up making less than minimum wage. Often beginners are going to be making nothing on there or next to nothing, not worth it. And then gurus online, quote unquote, might say things like, DM people on LinkedIn, just be active on social media, hang out where your clients are. But the problem is that takes a ton of time and just results in crickets, right? It's also not like a repeatable process. It's not a numbers game. Like if I send 10 cold emails, 15 cold emails, somewhere in that range today, I can feel pretty confident I'm going to get at least 1 or 2 clients from that, right? Social media is not the same way. You can make 10 posts a day and never get a client. Plus, who has time to spend all day on social? Tell me in the chat, are you an introvert? Are you someone who tries to stay off social media? I personally am raising my hand as both of those things. And the thing is, social media is so saturated today. Organic reach is down. These strategies might have worked a year or 2 ago, certainly before then, but these strategies are not working today in 2025. But here's the thing, you gotta find something that works, because working 40 plus hours a week at a job you don't even like is so exhausting. Actually, I would say soul sucking, right? And it limits the amount of money you can earn. It gives you a ceiling that you can't break through because your boss is dictating it, okay? And today, specifically today, 2025, with companies laying off employees left and right, those ghost job postings that we've been talking about, you simply cannot rely on just one traditional job for financial stability in 2025. Or, like we talked about earlier, even just one big client as a freelancer. Like, we've got to diversify, right? It's so important. So, for me, back in the day, I was asking myself this question: how the heck can I do this, right? How can I make $5 to $8 grand a month as a freelance writer while only working part-time hours remotely? So 25 hours per week, roughly, or less. I was told to do these 2 things if I wanted to get clients: use Upwork and Fiverr, or do the social media LinkedIn DMing thing. But like I said, these things don't really work. Leon says, heard of them, never use them. That's a good thing, Leon, because these sites are just a waste of time. They force you to compete on price, and you're probably going to end up making less than minimum wage. Way back in the day, over a decade ago, I once wrote a piece for $10 that took 3 hours, and I said, never again, never doing that again. So the LinkedIn thing we've already kind of talked about. Who has time for that? And more importantly, it's not a surefire way to get clients. It's not a numbers game in the way cold emailing is, especially now when organic reach is way down. So these sites are so oversaturated. I don't know if y'all have seen these. Tell me if y'all have seen these posts on LinkedIn or even in Facebook groups where someone posts a gig or like, hey, I need a writer to do this, XYZ. They get swamped within seconds or minutes. I just saw a post on LinkedIn earlier today. Someone said 3 hours in after posting on LinkedIn that they were looking for a writer, they had 100 writers DM them. You don't want to be on LinkedIn and be one of those 100, right? I am going to show you how to get out of that big pool and market yourself in a way where you are not competing with 100 writers. So here's something else I really wanted to mention, because a lot of the writers I have spoken to have this problem too. Maybe you've tried piecing together a marketing strategy with free YouTube videos and advice online, but you're still not getting enough or any high-paying clients. All that free advice is just kind of swirling around in your head, confusing you and overwhelming you and making you just feel like, oh my gosh, but which thing do I actually do? So really, all of that free advice is just adding to the problem. The free advice is costing you. Say that again. The free advice is actually costing you. It's costing you the income you could make if you just had one simple to follow, proven process. That free advice is just making the wall between you and clients feel even bigger. But that's why I created my killer cold emailing method that we are about to get into. It is a solution I made when I was fired from my full-time job. Y'all, I've been fired from 3 different jobs in my life. And the last one was, my full-time job, and getting fired from that is what kind of lit a fire under my ass to get me to start freelance writing. And within just 4 months, I built a $5 grand a month freelance writing business. And by the way, what we're talking about today is not just basic cold emailing. This is not Googleable stuff, right? This is my own proprietary process. You're not going to find anywhere else. It's a step-by-step system, and this is so critical. It has been updated for what is working now, today in 2025, okay? This is not something from 2 years ago, 3 years ago. The problem with that stuff is it's all outdated in today's market. So we're going to get you up to date with this training and break down the strategy that I have used to build a $5,000 a month writing business in 4 months, make over $8,500 a month freelance writing, working with really, really amazing, exciting clients, all while working part-time flexible hours from wherever I want. So if you're an OG and you've been around a while, you might remember my purple hair phase. It was here for quite a while. But these pictures are from when I was traveling full-time with my husband and our 2 little dogs. It was just the best experience ever, and I couldn't have done it had I not gotten into freelance writing. And by the way, most of my work experience before I did any of this was retail and customer service. So if you're in any of those situations or you're worried you don't have the experience for this, I'm going to prove you wrong with love. I'm going to prove you wrong today, okay? Because this is your pathway to financial freedom and security, whether you're side hustling or you want to do this full time. So maybe you just want to make 1 to 3K a month. I can help you with that. Maybe you want to make 5, 8, 10 grand a month and beyond. I can help you with those things too, like Sarah here, who went from content mills and bidding sites to 8 grand a month, and Nabil here, who made $2,800 freelance writing within just 3 weeks of implementing my process. Almost 3 grand in 3 weeks. That is pretty incredible, and that is the kind of results my students are getting. This process is for you if you have experience or you are a total beginner. Either way, this is the process for you. Let's see. Free to Eat Life says LinkedIn is another time suck. It absolutely is. I do not recommend spending a bunch of time posting on there. It's just not the vibe. The Anywhere Gardener says, I've been applying to jobs for the last 3 months, and yes, the competition is discouraging. I am so sorry to hear that. I cannot even begin to tell you how many people I know in my personal life who are exceptionally talented and cannot get a job, or exceptionally talented and they've been laid off. I don't want any of you guys to feel stuck in that situation. So I hope that this process today will help you go, okay, I can take back some control over my career and stop having to feel like you have to apply to jobs, because pitching clients is what is working so much better in a 2025 market. Oh, Free Life says, I'm an extroverted introvert. I love that. I kind of identify with that too. And I need to get off social media. It messes with dopamine. Oh my gosh. We could have a whole other live stream about that, but absolutely. I don't have the apps on my phone. I check it sometime on desktop, but yeah. The thing about this method, the killer cold emailing method we're going to break down, is you don't have to use any social media at all, which is so amazing, right? Like very introvert friendly. And this method will teach you how to create a 5 to 8 grand a month income writing part-time remote. So we are going to get into all of these steps. We're going to fill in these little blanks here, and I'll tell you what the steps are. Like I said, I'm going to go through this kind of quick just because I want you to get all the information as quickly as possible. We'll do a Q&A at the end, but if you have any questions as we go, please pop them in the chat and I'll answer either in the middle of this or at the end of the training when we do a Q&A. So let's go ahead and dive right in, jump right in with step 1, which is a profitable and, this is very important, and AI-proof niche. So not just profitable, but also AI-proof. This new niching method allows you to stop competing with AI and other writers. We've talked about that. The competition and applying to jobs versus 100 other people. That is not the case anymore when you niche down this way profitably. So really important to do. In case you didn't know, in case you're new to this, your niche is just your area of specialization as a freelance writer. Okay, so it's a specific type of writing you offer. Let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about how to find your profitable niche in today's market specifically. And I would love to hear from you guys in the chat. What niches are you considering right now? What niche are you in right now? Let me know what niche you're considering, and we can talk niches at the Q&A. I know it's a very, very popular topic. So these are the 3 niche requirements in a 2025 market. Now, a couple years ago, even just 1 year ago, this graphic looked different, right? I used to teach this a totally different way, but because I have also been freelancing as well in this new market in the past couple years, I changed this, right? These are the new niche requirements. It's got to be AI proof, first thing, not general SEO content. It's got to be highly specific in today's market, because that's how you stand out and set yourself apart from so-called competition. And this is so important, y'all. Like, if you only take one thing away from this slide or this entire training, let it be this. your target clientele must have a good sized budget. I'll actually take that a step further and say your target clientele needs to have demand and budget for what you do. These are the two words. If you're taking any notes right now, please write this down because I want you to take away actionable advice from this training. Whether you decide to enroll in my program, work with me via coaching or not, I want you to have this information, okay? Your target clientele should have demand for what you do and the budget to pay you well for it. Demand and budget with your target clientele. So critical. Most beginners, even more experienced writers, are missing this one. Naya, I hope I'm saying that right. Is it Naya? Please let me know if it's not. I want to learn SaaS, but e-commerce, tech writing, and digital marketing. Amazing niche ideas. Absolutely love it. You can totally learn SaaS. I say that confidently because that is the niche that I write in, so it makes sense. Blog posts or newsletters in health and wellness. Great idea, Jasmine. So much potential if you get your target clientele and your marketing right. I think that would be so great. The Anywhere Gardener, I'm doing writing for an automotive magazine, but I have a real problem with narrowing down a niche because I'm afraid to choose the wrong one. We will talk about that and about validating your niche and stuff here in a little bit, but definitely let me know if you have any questions about it, and we will do a Q&A at the end. Let's see, autoimmune research area, but many orgs have volunteers writing for them. I bet you could niche down profitably writing about that, maybe in like the medical or healthcare niche. I think there's a lot of opportunities there. Let's see. Do you handle the fatigue and not being able to do what you want to do, like sending out 10 emails a day or 5 emails a day? So for me, I've had to learn my own way to pace myself with my own chronic fatigue and chronic illness. It's just so different for everyone, but I do like Pomodoro techniques. I take like a break every hour, lay down, rest with like sleep mask over my eyes, do meditating, all these kinds of little things to like help me out. But the great thing is I'm not working anywhere even in the realm of full-time hours, right, Desiree? So that really helps. Daniel says, maybe my niche can be something to do with languages and teaching. I love that. That's so cool. You're a court interpreter. Wow. I wonder if you could do like legal niche, because that's a big one, and teach English. I mean, so much potential there, Daniel. Let me know if you have certain ideas you are looking at. Desiree says, animal welfare rescue sanctuary, dog food companies. Those are some great ideas. I actually have a student, I'll show you her testimonial a little bit later, who specializes in pet care writing, and she has been very successful. So I think that would be such a great option and such a great opportunity for sure, if that's something you're really passionate about. So I think that's definitely something to consider. All right, let's keep it moving. And if you guys have any questions, again, please pop them in the chat. Okay. Nia, it's Nia. Okay. I am so sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know. If I say it wrong again, then I am so sorry. I'm going to do my best to remember. My brain, I have a little bit of slowness with my cognitive functioning due to my illnesses that I'm going through. So if y'all could just bear with me, I would so appreciate it. But thank you for letting me know. Okay. Let's talk about some of these really common concerns with freelance writing niches. Concern number 1 being, I don't have enough expertise to pick a niche. This is such a common one. Raise your hand if you are dealing with this concern, because when I started out, this is exactly how I felt. But the thing is, and the thing I want you to know, when you are niching down, what it does is it creates the perception of expertise, which is a proven psychological principle in sales, okay? You do not need to be an expert. Again, you do not need to be an expert. How freeing and amazing is that to hear, right? You just need to choose a niche and commit to learning it. So I really want you to have this mindset shift of, I need to be an expert now, to I am going to commit to learning this over time. Right? So you can kind of think about it like this. If you're a fiction writer and you're writing a sci-fi fiction novel that takes place in outer space, well, do you need to have been to outer space or be an astronaut to write that? Absolutely not. You're just going to do research and fill in your knowledge gaps. And freelance writing works the same way. We have to give ourselves time to learn our niche and trust ourselves that we can research this, because you have Google, you have so many resources you can use. And by the way, I'm saying this from experience. I have written about so many things that I had no clue about before taking those projects on. So I'm living proof. Now, the second thing, Maybe you're worried about competing with cheaper writers. So here's the thing about niching down. Instead of competing with a huge pool of generalists, like hundreds of other writers we've talked about, that happens on Upwork, Fiverr, LinkedIn, Facebook groups, by niching down profitably, what you do is position yourself in a niche market, eliminating cheaper competition. So you are not even in the pool with those people anymore. All the generalists, writers who are getting paid like $20 to do projects and things like that are over here in this pool. You're in this pool where the few people who are niching down appropriately, profitably, and marketing themselves correctly are here in this pool. And it is not a big pool because most writers, I say this with love because I've been in this situation too, most writers are not niched profitably and they're not marketing themselves the right way. If you can do those two things, you're already in the top 5%, okay? Now, the third thing, some people think freelance writing is so saturated right now. The saturation, again, is that pool of nicheless beginners who are not marketing themselves correctly. By marketing yourselves the right way, you instantly stand out. You're in that pool up here of specialization, right? So saturation and AI become irrelevant. Leon says you just need to do research. You got Google and AI to assist you. I love that attitude, Leon. That is the exact attitude you gotta have when you come into freelance writing because you can do this. I promise you, it is not even half as scary as it may seem. Okay, now, you might also be thinking, but I don't have any specialized knowledge. I'm not an expert at anything, but I can't possibly do this, right? But behind this thought is something all beginners or even some experienced people go through, which is fear. Fear is at the root. You're not actually afraid to pick a niche. You're afraid a client won't like your work, or afraid of feeling like a failure or imposter syndrome, or that you aren't good enough to get freelance writing clients. That is usually the root that I've found from working with thousands of writers over 10 years. It is that feeling of I am not confident because I don't feel like I'm good enough. So let me give you some good news if you feel like this. There are clients out there right now, who simply need someone who can write. Someone who can write well, right? I'm not talking about SEO. I'm not talking about advanced niche knowledge. I'm not talking about conversion copywriting. Just writing. That's where you start, okay? And using my process, you are going to earn as you learn. So I'm going to talk about this in one of the upcoming slides. So remember I told you guys, if you want to have that income goal in mind, as we look at those earn as you learn slides, that is going to be the place for you to have that in mind. And by the way, just want to share this before we move forward. If you want free one-on-one coaching with me to help you with this or anything here, I will be sharing how to get it at the end of this training. Spots will likely be gone tomorrow, so stay tuned. And no, that's not just like a marketing thing that I'm saying. Last time I offered these free one-on-one coaching spots, they sold out in 24 hours. And that opened, earlier today. So probably going to be gone in 24 hours again, so by tomorrow morning Pacific time. So stay tuned if you want to figure out how that works. But here's something that I really want you to take in, especially if you're a beginner or you have doubts or you feel unconfident. If it were true that you needed experience to start freelance writing, none of my beginner students would ever be successful, right? No one would ever be able to start. We all have fears and struggle with imposter syndrome, but we can't let these things hold us back. Look at these two students here who got their first ever clients using my process. Caitlin wrote a paid test article, got paid $225 for it. First client ever, got great feedback on it. That's so amazing, and it's just the start, right? And on the right here, we have someone who just signed their first freelance blogging contract. This is the power of marketing yourself correctly. So again, let's bring to mind why you want to do this, why you want to make freelance writing work, and bring to mind your income goal so you can see how it kind of coincides with this earn as you learn process. Because using my killer cold emailing method, you will earn as you learn. What you're going to do is start with smaller clients and easy projects if you want. You don't have to. You can go pitch Apple and Nike day one if you want to. But I find for most beginners or even people who have experience coming into this, it's easier mentally, emotionally, to start with low pressure projects. So that is what I recommend for most. And the amazing thing about this is you will get paid to learn copywriting and learn your niche industry over time. Let me show you how this works, and I'll show you a practical example and then proof that this works. Okay, so first things first, you're gonna start where you are now, right? Even if you got zero experience, goose egg, zero experience. You're gonna start where you are now, no experience, no niche industry knowledge, and you are gonna get to 1 to 3K a month at that level, okay? You are going to say, I'm gonna go ahead and pitch, and I am gonna learn as I go on these projects. And if you wanna do what I did, you can start small. So I'll give you a practical example here. When I started out freelance writing, I was writing copy for IT service providers. So I was living in Dallas, Texas at the time. I got on Google and I typed in IT service providers in Dallas, Texas, and found a bunch of small companies, and I pitched them, and I got some gigs for them, and I made it to this beginner level doing those gigs. Not only that, it's about the money, yes, but it's not just about the money. Not only that, I grew my confidence, I learned my niche, and I learned so much about copywriting by doing those first projects. So you can see you're gonna earn as you learn. As your niche knowledge then grows over time, along with your confidence, you will get to this 4 to 5K a month stage, okay? So this is that next step where you have grown, you have testimonials, you have better writing samples, you're raising your rates because you feel confident enough from the beginner level projects to raise your rates, and then you become a true niche expert quickly and get even better clients as a result. This is how you get to that 8K a month and beyond niche expert and copywriting expert phase. So you can absolutely do this. Here is a practical example of what I am seeing my students do to scale to each income level. Here I'm using pet care blog posts as an example. Okay, so pet care blog posts is this person's niche. They are gonna write their first ever pet care blog posts to get to 1 to 3K a month, all right? Then they're gonna get better at writing pet care blog posts by doing, right? We don't get better by just thinking about doing. You're gonna grow your confidence only by doing, taking action, pitching, and you'll get better and get testimonials and better writing samples, social proof, all these things that allow for this snowballing process and allow you to get higher paying clients. So that is so amazing, because after that, you become a true niche expert at writing pet care blog posts. You've grown your confidence, you've grown your copywriting skills, and so you get even higher paying clients as a result. Tell me, you guys, does this make sense? Like, are you excited about this process? Do you have any questions about it? Because when I started breaking the course down this way, I noticed so much more clarity from my students, and they were actually able to practically use this process just like Emma here. Because y'all, this is literally what my students are doing. This is what I did. This is what my students are doing. Take a look at Emma on the top here. She said, I got offered 4K a month without me even mentioning a figure. That's so cool. And then she closed another client for $640. So almost $5,000. So amazing. Long-term client, she said. And then take a look at this second one. This is proof of how this works, right? I joined Killer Cold Emailing just over a year ago, and today I'm going to have my first ever 5-figure month. That is so freaking exciting. That is financial freedom. That is financial security. That is what I want for you all. So really important, though, to start where you are now and understand that this is a very practical, reasonable process. Again, I'm never going to tell you can't do anything, right? But this is so much more practical and easier to wrap your head around than me just going, yeah, you're going to make 50 grand a month by 2 months from now, right? I mean, you might, but what I find, again, for most of my students is this is far more practical. So let's break this down. How do you pick a profitable niche that lands you high-paying clients and eliminates competition with AI and cheaper writers? Because that's what we all want to do, right? We don't want to be competing with AI and cheaper writers. Here's something I see happen often, and I would love for you guys to tell me if you are dealing with this right now as well, or if you find yourself in this cycle, because I've certainly felt stuck in this cycle before, so it totally makes sense if you are finding yourself stuck there as well. So here's the cycle. You use guesswork to decide on a niche. Maybe, and I might be lovingly, of course, but calling some of you out here, maybe you found some post online that said the top 10 freelance writing niches right now. Those posts have some problems, especially in today's market. We'll talk about that later, but basically that just means you're using guesswork or some list that someone posted to decide on a niche. then you try to get clients in that niche that you picked using guesswork, but they can't afford you or the pay just flat out sucks. You keep looking for free advice to get better clients online, or maybe how to figure out what you're doing wrong with your niche or your website. You just don't know, but nothing helps. So you stay broke and fail to make the money you want freelance writing. And this is what happens when you try to pick a niche based on guesswork, but it is not profitable. Okay, there are two big problems at play here. So what are these two big problems? Well, if you are asking yourself, how do I know if my niche is profitable or not? That is because you don't have a proven method to validate your niche. You want to validate your niche, ideally, before you start cold emailing. You should have that validated, okay? Because if you don't, you're going to end up wasting time marketing yourself in a niche that is not even profitable. You know what I mean? Like, imagine you did this and you picked a niche and you did the things and you feel like you're doing it right, but you're not getting any clients just because the marketing is not working, because the niche is the foundation of your marketing. So that's a big problem. Now, this problem number 2 is a big one. This is another point in this class where I'm going to say, if you're zoning out, tune back in a little bit. You might want to take a note on this. This is a big problem. You don't know if the actual clients you are targeting in your niche can afford you. So that goes back to what I said earlier, right? I told you, target clientele, they've got to have a demand for what you do and the budget to pay you well for it. Demand and budget. Demand and budget. Those are the two big words of the day with your target clientele, right? So if you don't know if your target clientele is a clientele that has demand and budget, you are going to waste time pitching clients who can't afford to pay well or don't see the value in what you do. So something I like to use a lot as a comparison here is you're selling meat to vegans, okay? We don't want to ever sell meat to vegans because they aren't going to be interested in buying that. And even if they were remotely interested, it would be a very, very hard sell. That is why I say demand is a huge factor. And then, of course, budget. They've got to have the budget to pay you well. So, hot tip with some spicy peppers emojis down there. The same exact niche topic could be very profitable or very unprofitable depending solely on the target clientele. The target clientele is one of the biggest pieces of your marketing strategy. It's why those niche lists aren't very useful, frankly, because what matters more, yes, your niche is important. You got to take it a step further, though, and define your target clientele. Really, really, really important to make sure you do that in today's market, because the same niche could be profitable or not, depending on the types of companies you target. You could have one finance copywriter over here who is a beginner, and they hit the ground running and make $4,000 in 2 months, right? And another finance copywriter is a beginner and they make, $300 and they struggle to even get that. Often it comes down to, a lot about the marketing course, but the target clientele. So keep that in mind. But that is why I actually created my own proprietary niche finder AI bot. I built this last year because of the changing market to take you from no niche or an unprofitable niche to a highly profitable writing niche. And keyword, and target clientele. So important. That is right. I built a niche finder AI bot that will instantly validate your niche idea for you. We talked about so important, validating your niche idea. Tell you exactly who to target. What are the target clienteles you should cold email, and what are your rates? So niche, target clients, and rates, it does all the work for you in seconds as a killer cold emailing student. It is really cool. I'm not gonna not talk about how cool it is, because so many of my students are like, wow, this solved my life problems, basically. But if you come in and you don't even have niche ideas, you can just pick one from the profitable niche list and target clientele master list inside of the Killer Cold Emailing program. I've already curated the top niches in today's market. Again, today's market. Very important to know that. So that resource is available for you inside of the program, as well as my niche up-leveling strategy that nobody is talking about. I literally have not seen anyone talk about this, which is so crazy because it makes your writing niche AI proof. Gina says, great advice. I worry I'm marketing to people who can't afford me. Totally understand that, Gina. While we're doing our Q&A at the end, if you'd like to, just an invitation, obviously, you don't have to do anything, but I would love to hear a little bit about the process you're going through, what your niche is, and who you are marketing to, because I might be able to help you with that. I'm sure I can help you with that. Let's see, Nia. Okay, I think I said it right. Nia is saying, is there guidance on where to pitch in the Killer Cold Emailing course? Yes, that is hard, a beginner knowing where to pitch. So absolutely, and this Niche Finder AI bot actually helps you with that. It pretty much automates the process of figuring out your niche idea and what types of target clients to pitch, okay? So really, really a big deal. The whole course is basically super detailed version of what we're learning today in the program, as well as these pre-built resources. So absolutely, it's going to help you figure out exactly what types of companies to pitch, and then go down to the detail and go, who at these companies are you pitch? And it just makes it as easy as humanly possible, basically. So hopefully that helps. Jerry, is it Jerry or Gary? Maybe it's Gary, but says, thank you so much, encouraging. I am so glad that it's encouraging. Thank you for letting me know, because that is why I do what I do. I want to help you guys out. I've been in so many situations in my life where I just felt hopeless and stuck in all these things, but I want to make this as easy as possible for y'all. That is really part of why I made this Niche Finder AI bot, because it just makes it so freaking easy, right? You access the bot will validate the profitability of your niche and tell you how much to charge to work 25 hours per week or less, or whatever hours you want to work. And it takes it that step further, which we've talked about is so important, and tells you the most profitable clients to target in your niche. I mean, it does the work for you in seconds, and it is specifically programmed to work with my proprietary marketing process and is based on my 10 years of experience. This is not just some basic asking AI this and that. It is specific. It is my proprietary process. So you can get your profitable niche, profitable clientele, and your writing rates from this in minutes. It is really cool. Danielle says, can you show a preview of how the bot works? So the way the bot works is basically like this. I'm not able to switch my screen into the bot right now because this is the only window. But yeah, you will just use ChatGPT to access this proprietary Niche Finder AI bot, and you'll just plug in the prompts, and it is super easy and quick, and it's going to give you all this information that takes a lot of beginners months or even years. Literally, I've had people come to me and say, years and years I struggled, and this solved all my problems in minutes. So very cool thing. Just like Megan here, who said she was hesitant to invest in herself. She said, I was new to the concept of being a freelance writer and had no idea how to get started, much less be successful. I had never invested in myself like that, so it was a big step for me. Love that. Love stepping out of our comfort zones a little bit. That's how we get to the next level, right? She says, within a month of implementing Killer Cold Emailing, I booked 3 freelance writing clients. Oh my gosh, I wish I had confetti I could throw in the air right now, because that is just so exciting. She says, by the end of the first 2 months, I made $4,000 freelance writing. That is incredible. Love to see it. Now, we know you got to have a profitable AI-proof niche. We know the target clientele's got to have demand and budget for what you do, right? These are the things I'm telling you to write down. If you want to write them down and make a quick note, you absolutely can. But let's talk about your sales machine, aka your client converter website. This is how you can literally 10 times your cold emailing results with a writer website / portfolio structured to convert. Backed by sales and marketing psychology. This is not a basic website. This is not a random portfolio. This is more like a sales page or a high conversion landing page. It's really how it is structured. It's very intentional and very strategic. So let me know, do you guys know this? When you cold email a client, when you pitch someone, they will click over to your writer website and use that to determine whether or not to work with you. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that when I started out, but I quickly learned it because it was a very important lesson to learn, okay? So important, because this happens every time. And because of that, here's what I see happen often. A client opens up your cold email. Maybe it's really well written. It's a great cold email, right? And that client is interested in hiring a writer. So they're like a hot lead, okay? But you don't have a client converting website linked within your cold email. So the client perceives you as unprofessional and deletes the email without responding. This sucks. It is so frustrating because that missing website lack of a website or a website that doesn't convert makes all the difference. Clients are not taking you seriously because of this, okay? I want to be so clear here. Today's market requires this step. Sure, maybe back in the day, 5-10 years ago, you could just slap up a Google Doc or make a Upwork profile, whatever. Not anymore, my friends. Today's market, you must have a website specifically built to convert the clients you're cold emailing and pitching, because that is how you stand out in your marketing. If you got no website at all, your cold email is getting deleted or ignored. If your website is not optimized to sell, your cold email is going to get deleted or ignored. So your website must be specifically set up to convert the clients you cold email. That is so incredibly important because it is part of the sales process. Kenya says, I purchased a few years ago. Is there a way to purchase only the niche finder AI bot? Kenya, you should have the bot inside of your course. So that is great news. If you have the LTO version, you should already have that. So if you want to log into Teachable and double check, I think you should have it in there so you can go ahead and start using it. That will be awesome. No need to add that on as a separate thing. I got you covered. So back to the website stuff. This is why cold emailing alone is not enough, okay? I have a lot of writers who come to me and they're like, I've already tried cold emailing. My results were disappointing. I guarantee you, if that is you, you were missing something from the system. This is not just try cold emailing with like a random template, okay? It is so much more than that. It is an entire marketing ecosystem where each step builds on the next, and that's why it's so important for everything to be done right. Think of it like building a house. If you have a foundation that's not solid, if some of the wood is rotted, you're not going to have a very good house at the end of it, right? It's not going to work out. So this is kind of the same thing. Here's kind of what you can think about for a before and after of how this works. I would love to hear from you guys in the chat, by the way. Do you have a portfolio website right now? Do you have any questions about what this portfolio website entails? Because I would love to help you out. So drop those in the chat. And again, if I'm missing any questions, I will definitely address those at the end during the Q&A, especially the niche related stuff, because I can talk about niches all day long. It's one of my favorite topics. So yeah, drop it in the chat. But here's how it works. Before, you have a low converting website or no writer website or random samples, maybe some Google Docs that you send to people. The problem is in today's market, you're not going to be taken seriously because you have one of these three things. So you're going to be in that pool we were talking about earlier of beginners, people who are competing with AI, people who are charging 20, 30, 40 bucks, not going to cut it in 2025, right? So let's shift to this. With your client converter website, your site will prove to clients you're worth working with. Even if you're a total beginner, I want to be really clear about that. It is proof. It is built to convert, and it does the selling on your behalf. I'll show you proof of this in a second. As always, love to show proof. It is a huge part of you becoming AI proof and saturation proof, having this client converter website. So important to get this done. This one simple shift is going to skyrocket the results of your cold emailing efforts because your client converter website will sell on your behalf. But, and this is huge, this is another one of those things that I'm going to say, maybe write this down. There is a huge difference between doing something, trying it out, and doing it the right way. And those two approaches will yield two drastically different sets of results. So it's got to be done right. Leon says, I do not have a portfolio website. Well, we got to get that fixed for you, Leon. So let me know if you have any questions about what your website should have. Free to Eat Life says, I have a website and it links to articles. That's great, but it's more focused on copy editing and proofreading. Okay. You need to convert it to a writing site and hide some pages that may not be relevant. Yes, it sounds like you're on the right track, and we definitely want your site to be niche optimized as well. Super important. So let me know if you got any questions about this site. Now let's talk about how this actually works to land you clients. Like practically, how does it work? Well, sales psychology plus a proven template equals high-paying clients. Y'all, I suck at math, but even I can understand this, right? Sales psychology plus a proven template is what's going to get you these high-paying clients. With the sales psychology, your site is specifically designed to convert the clients you cold email. It uses proven sales psychology to do the heavy lifting for your cold emails so you can win clients even if you're a total beginner. Again, this is not a random website with random things. Every single section is strategic. every single section of every single page has a certain thing in a certain order built to convert. And with the proven template inside my Killer Cold Emailing program, that is based on what is working right now. Not a year ago, not 2 years ago, today in a 2025 market, okay? So it's going to convert. And the best part, I would say, is it eliminates guesswork by telling you exactly what to say and where with the design already created and pre-optimized. Every single page, all the sections are already built out for you. And like I said, I was going to show you all proof. Here's the proof, okay? Tara says, since I built the site, I got consistent work from it and still do. One client even paid me $1,200 for one single blog post. Y'all, $1,200 for one blog post from switching to this client converter website. So powerful. Sarah here on the right says, just updating my website helped me win a new client. He was sold by my website. I didn't even need to do a phone call to close the deal. Oh my gosh, every introvert's dream come true. Like, it is just so amazing. This does the heavy lifting for you. So I want to share this with you guys because it is so exciting. It's another one of those things my students are coming to me and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with this. Like, this is so amazing. I have already pre-built your client converter website for you inside my Killer Cold Emailing program. I built the entire site. Literally, I did it myself. All you've got to do is download the template zip file and drop it in. It's completely pre-built and proven to convert. It is literally, y'all, if you open up the zip file, a one-click install. It is so amazing. It saves you so much time and effort. And if you're like, okay, cool, but what exactly do I say on my website? Well, I've got you covered there too, because I actually already wrote all your copy. I pre-wrote your proven to convert copy template. You just plug your information in, like name, niche, whatever, into that template, and you are good to go. Imagine this. You could get your website launched in 5 minutes. You could fill in the blanks in the copy template, and it will not take that long at all because you already have all the information. So it's pretty much done for you, right? Your website can be done in as little as 1 hour or less instead of weeks or months of guesswork and tech struggles. So it is such a cool thing. You can literally launch your website in 5 minutes, fill in the blanks in the copy template. You know, I put 40 minutes here. Some of you guys, it might take 15 or 20 minutes. Some of you, it might take 90 minutes or a couple hours. But really the thing is, an evening or half an evening, you not only get your website done, but it is done right. So important to have this. And the best part, again, you'll know it's done right. Specifically optimized to land you clients. Spring says, the closest thing I have is my Medium account. So that is great. It's great to have writing samples there if you want, but we will still want this specifically optimized client converter website because that is like essentially kind of like a sales or conversion landing page for you, right? So really good start. And we'll just want to shift it and put those on a dedicated portfolio page on your dedicated writer website that has a custom domain, yourname.com or yourbusinessname.com. That is a trust signal. We'll talk about trust signals in a minute, but so important. Let's see. Let me scroll back up here because I want to make sure I'm saying your name right. Nia, okay. I was going to say Naya again, so I'm glad I scrolled back up. Nia says it can be later, obviously. Oh, okay, maybe the question. Selling versus telling, what is the difference? That is a great question, and I can tell you've been watching some of my YouTube videos because that's what I've been talking about here some. You're saying I have my Notion sites, but I don't know if they give off selling. I just categorize different writing pieces I've done. So I will tell you at the top of this client converter website, you should have one big ass headline that says what you do, who you help, and who you are. So mine, for example, might be, hi, I'm Jordan. I write high converting landing pages that help SaaS companies get more customers. Okay. So that is just one part of your client converter website, but it is a very important part, right? That above the fold part of your site that loads, the first 3 seconds of someone landing on your site, they've got to instantly trust you. And that headline and a picture of yourself next to it, 2 huge things you can do to skyrocket your conversions. But at the same time, we also want every single page of your writer website to be optimized, right? We want every single page to be optimized to sell. So that is what is included in this client converter website template. And you can kind of see the results you can get from this, right? You can go from beginner writer, like Stephanie here, to $15,000 freelance writing in 4 months. Stephanie says, I got the confidence, motivation, and tools to become a successful business owner as a writer. With the clear and direct approach, I was able to earn $15,000 in the last 4 months. That is such an incredible result. And this is what you can expect to learn how to do, and you can achieve these results too inside of this program. So let's move along to step number 3, how to start getting high paying clients with easy cold emailing. Cold emailing basically made as easy as possible. This is how you can get clients fast and scale your freelance writing business to $5,000 a month, even if you are a total beginner. So let's talk about how it's done, okay? Because I know some of y'all might be thinking, I've already tried cold emailing. It didn't work for me. I got disappointing results. I think I said this earlier, but I have a lot of people who come to me like that. And they're like, I just don't know. I don't know. Should I try it again? I already felt like I was burned by it. I'm going to tell you why it didn't work and how to shift that more importantly. Because here's the thing. Just cold emailing is very different from cold emailing the right way. I would love for you guys to post in the chat, have you tried cold emailing? Let me know if you have ever tried cold emailing before, and if you have not, what has held you back from trying it? Is it the niche thing? Are you just kind of scared to put yourself out there and pitch? Totally reasonable, totally makes sense, by the way. You wouldn't be alone in that at all. Let me know if you've tried cold emailing before, or if you haven't, what has held you back? But again, here's the thing, just trying out cold emailing is so different from cold emailing the right way. You'll get 2 drastically different sets of results. If you're not getting the results you want, it is because you are not cold emailing the right way. You might be trying it out, but you're not cold emailing the right way. And it all comes down to your marketing strategy missing the necessary trust signals. Anywhere Gardner says, I purchased the first one. Is this one totally different? So if you have Killer Cold Emailing -LTO in your Teachable account, you already have this version. So that is amazing. I'm excited for you to get the new resources. If not, if you have an old bundle version from 6 or 7 years ago, we can get you upgraded. Just email my team at hello@writingrevolt.com. We'll get you a coupon and get you taken care of. So it'll be good either way. Gary says, yes, but got crickets. So Gary, I would love to hear, after I go through this trust signals process with y'all, I would love to hear if you can pinpoint where in your marketing process may have gone wrong, because it is so understandable and relatable to be like, I got crickets. I didn't get the results I want, so why would I try it again? But we got to pivot and make sure each piece of our strategy supports that cold email to convert. Leon says, never tried cold emailing. Well, we got to get you started on that, Leon. Jasmine said, didn't get anyone to bite. Yeah, same for you, Jasmine. I would say, as we go through this, let me know if you can pinpoint maybe where in your marketing the problem could be, right? Because we want to make sure that you are pivoting into cold emailing in a way that gets results in a 2025 market. Gina says, I've tried it out with limited results. Yeah, totally understand that. Same thing there. Let me know what y'all think is going wrong with the cold email that you've been doing based on what I'm about to cover here. Because again, this is the difference between cold emailing versus cold emailing the right way using trust signals. Just cold emailing, by the way, y'all, this before and after here is an actual student result. Just cold emailing might get you 1 cold email response and they're not even interested, right? But cold emailing the right way, my student, when she pivoted from just trying it out to doing it the right way, aka the killer cold emailing way, she started getting 6 to 8 client responses a week with at least 4 people a week wanting to hire her. So freaking amazing. That is so cool. And it just goes to show the difference between trying out cold emailing without the strategy and cold emailing the right way using trust signals. Okay, so let's talk about trust signals, y'all. This is another point where I'm going to say, if you're zoning out, if you're watching something in the background, maybe a gentle invitation here for you to tune back in, because this is really, really important and it will show you what may be missing from your strategy. Okay, so trust trust signals. These are the things, they're psychological triggers that make clients want to work with you. This is not, again, some random idea that I came up with that is based on nothing. It is actually based in sales and marketing psychology and my 10 years of experience, not only writing, but hiring writers and coaching writers. Now, the opposite of a trust signal is a trust blocker. That's basically a big old X that goes in front of your cold emailing results, right? And it causes your cold emails to get deleted or ignored. These are things that block clients from trusting you. So trust signals good, trust blockers really bad, things that we definitely don't want you to have. Now, some trust signals: a clear and profitable niche and a profitable target clientele straight up laid out on your client converting writer website. If you're doing all those things, you're already ahead of 95% of writers, because most writers aren't doing those things. So really, really important to get that done right, as well as have an optimized cold email based on sales psychology. Okay, so not a random template you found online. Those things do not work for freelance writing in today's market. You've got to have something specifically for freelance writing in today's market that is based in sales and marketing psychology. Now, what are the trust blockers? Well, those are the opposite of trust signals, right? Trust blockers are a lack of a clearly positioned niche. Clients don't trust you can write in their industry. They don't trust you're the best fit for them. So on that note, this is another important thing too you may want to write down. Marketing is all about perception. When you are creating your writer website, you are creating a perception that is going to get clients to hire you. Clients' perception is reality, okay? That is why it is so important to have your online presence look professional, have your cold email not be generic and unfocused, because if it is, clients are going to feel spammed and lose trust quickly and or see no value in what you do, which we just don't want for y'all, right? I want y'all to get the clients that you want. So my friends, let's break down exactly how trust blockers stop you from getting clients and how are we going to pivot that? How can we fix it with trust signals? This graphic I'm about to share is really the best explainer I have found or seen of this process, and it may give you some big light bulbs as far as why your cold emails maybe haven't worked in the past. Again, keep in mind, this is based on my 10 years of experience cold emailing and my experience receiving cold emails and hiring freelancers. And y'all, I'm going to take a drink of a soda because I'm already losing my voice, so I'm so sorry. Can y'all just bear with me for 1 second here? Does anyone else just not talk this much during the day usually? I am mostly at home. Me and my husband are both introverts. We both have little dogs. We chill at home a lot. So my vocal cords are like, what the hell are we doing today, girl? Talking for an hour straight. This is crazy. Leon says, sure, go ahead. Thank you. Appreciate that. Daniel says, is the new version Killer Cold Emailing 2.0? It absolutely is. Anywhere you enroll in Killer Cold Emailing today is Killer Cold Emailing 2.0. I don't offer the older versions anymore. Kenya says, this is motivating me to finally fall through on the program and fight the fear. I love that. Kenya, I would love for you to follow up with me in a month. Email me and my team, hello@writingrevolt.com, and let me know what your results are and what your progress has been. So gentle invitation. If that's too much pressure, totally free to ignore everything I'm saying. But if you want to do that, it might help you stick with it. So you are more than welcome to do that. Leon says, I don't talk too much except when I podcast. That makes sense. Podcasting, man, my voice would just be like, bye, I've left the building. Kazam or Mikkel, right? Are you the one who said your name was Mikkel? Introverted, yes. Same here, losing the voice, so I might have to pause again. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me. Okay, the vocal cords are feeling a little bit happier now. So let's break this down. That was a good time to take a little break because this right here is so crucial, okay? I want you to understand. You need to understand the process the client goes through in their brains when they receive a cold email from you. Every client you cold email starts over here. The client is the little blue car, okay? They're going to open your email, read your full email, ideally the full email, not just skim and delete, read the whole thing. Check out your website. Yes, every client who is interested in working with you based on your cold email, their next step is clicking over to check out that website. That's why it's so important. Then and only then are they going to decide to work with you, okay? All these steps must happen first with your cold emails. So here is the thing that happens. For those of y'all who said your cold emails got disappointing results, they weren't working, let me know which trust blocker was in the way. Because when trust blockers are in the picture, the client is going to stop, okay, before they get to the next step. Meaning they can't get to the far end over there where they've decided to work with you because they've been blocked by one of these trust blockers. So let's think about each step of the way here. What would block someone from step 1, opening your email? The trust blocker that would stop them would be an ineffective subject line. Something generic, something that screams spammy, something boring, something not relevant. Ineffective subject line, it's going to block you from getting the client because it's going to block them from taking this first step. Now, what's going to block them from reading the entire email top to bottom? Meaning their experience is probably they clicked the email open, they skimmed it, and they're like, spammy, don't have the time, whatever, bye. The trust blocker there that's going to stop them from actually pausing and reading the whole email is things like having a poor hook. That opening sentence, y'all, crucial, so important. And a lack of a niche. And one more thing, I'm going to give y'all a free little tip here, a lack of an optimized professional email signature. You would be surprised how big of a difference that makes. An email signature should have your name, your niche, and your professional writer website link in it. That is huge. So, free little side tip for y'all. Huge thing to avoid being blocked for the trust blocker. So, now the next step. What would block them from then going to check out your website? Say they did read your whole email. The email was good. The email was solid. Well, the next step is checking out your website, right? What would block them would be maybe they did read the whole email, but it just didn't end up being good. It wasn't guided by sales psychology. It wasn't offering something relevant, or you don't have a website, right? If you don't have a website, they're going to be blocked right in the middle of this process, so there's no chance they're going to work with you. And then let's say they do click over to check out a website, whether it's some kind of portfolio website or something like that. The trust blocker would be either no website, of course, which we already talked about, or if you have an unprofessional website, your professional website doesn't convert or it lacks niche optimization, you're all the way at the end. You are so freaking close, but they will not decide to work with you simply because your website screwed up the whole process. So I really want this to sink in, because this just goes to show why you can have an amazing subject line, an amazing cold email itself, and still not get clients because you are missing your writer website, you are missing the professional writer website, it's not converting, something else is wrong with your hook or your niche in your email. All these little things have got to be not just done, but done right for them to get over here to the right side and eventually decide to work with you. So you can see just how important it is to have every piece of your marketing strategy working together to get you hired, because these trust blockers are all these little different specific things. So you've got to have it all done right. Now, let's shift this, okay? Because we want to use trust signals. We don't want to be blocked by trust blockers, okay? Let's eliminate the trust blockers completely, and that is how you get clients. This is another slide I'm about to show y'all where I'm going to say, stop, tune in, take notes, think about this, let this sink in, because it's really important. So we already went over the trust blockers, right? What are the trust signals? The trust signal that is going to get someone to open your email is an enticing, proven subject line. A subject line that converts, essentially. Boom. You got on to step 1. That is great. You're a fourth of the way there. Now, to read the entire email, you're going to need a clear niche, a strong hook. Those are a couple of the trust signals. Other things would be a strong call to action, a relevant offer, a niche optimized signature at the end that has your writer website linked in it. You can see, you guys, this is not just a random pitch. This is not something we throw together based on guesswork. This is extremely strategic. Your cold email itself is a piece of a conversion copy. Your writer website itself is a piece of conversion copy. It's so important. This goes back to the person who asked about selling versus telling. You've got to think about everything in the terms of, does it convert, period. So that is the trust signal that will get them to read your full email top to bottom. Now, what's going to get them to go, okay, I read the email. I'm intrigued. I want to work with this person possibly. I'm going to go click and check out their website. The trust signal that's going to make them do that is an optimized cold email that is guided by sales psychology, that has all the trust signals in it: the niche, the hook, the email signature, the website linked. They're going to click over and check out your website when they're interested. And then, and only then, will they decide to work with you, because you have a professional, niche optimized writer website that actually converts. Not just telling, but actually selling your services. So this is the entire process they go through before they decide to work with you. I know for me, when I started out, I did not know any of this, right? I was like, okay, just write a cold email. All right, I'll try it out. Did not go well, okay? Did not go well until I started using this specific, strategic, and simple process, because this is the only way they will decide to work with you. You got to have the entire marketing ecosystem done correctly, right? The niche, the target clientele, the cold email, everything. Your writer website, so critical, because it is that last conversion step. That is what's going to close your potential clients when you cold email them. So it is really cool. It's a great thing because it means it does the selling and heavy lifting for you. And this process, the trust signals, all of this is exactly what you will create with your pre-built marketing assets included inside of the Killer Cold Emailing 2.0 program. So it is really exciting because in Killer Cold Emailing, you get my proven to convert cold emailing templates based on sales psychology. Again, not a random thing thrown together, not anything that is Googleable online. These are based on sales psychology, marketing psychology, and my 10 years of experience doing this myself, coaching writers, and even hiring freelancers, okay? It is full of trust signals that make you irresistible to clients and beginner friendly, as well as if you have some experience, they will work for you as well. There are a few different templates you'll see when you log into the program for a few different niches as well. So it's really easy. You just copy, paste, put it in, change out a few of the elements like your niche and name, whatever. And this is proven to convert. This is how you land clients simply by firing off pre-written, proven cold emails in your PJs. So it is really, really cool. This template is so effective. As always, y'all, I will show you the cold hard proof. It is so effective. I often have students reach out to me and go, holy crap, I got a client with my first ever cold email, like Sierra here. Sierra here reached out. She was writing in the mental health niche, very cool niche. Within 48 hours of starting the Killer Cold Emailing course, she says, I sent out my first cold email using this method, and heard back with a contract for $1,400 before the week was over. So cool. And that is the power of not just trying it out, but actually getting the entire simple system and strategy and making sure every step is done correctly. So here's a case study to show you too. Again, more proof how my student Crystal went from disappointing cold emailing results to making $3,600 in 2 weeks. 2 freaking weeks, y'all. So quick by cold emailing using my system. Crystal here is a Killer Cold Emailing student. Before she came to me, she'd already tried cold emailing and she was like, I don't know, my results kind of sucked. They were disappointing. She said she would get 0 to 1 cold email replies per week, usually saying that they weren't interested, which is, it's not a good place to be in, right? You don't want to be stuck in that place. But when Crystal switched from trying out cold emailing to using my Killer Cold Emailing method, she started getting 6 to 8 client responses a week, with at least 4 wanting to hire her. That is such a big deal. That is so cool. Imagine that change, like going from making pretty much nothing from cold emailing to $3,600 in 2 weeks. Incredible. And not only that $3,600, but you then have a process that you know is proven to work. And anytime you want to get a client, you can get a client. I think I maybe said this at the beginning, but it brings me so much peace of mind to know I have a proven, repeatable process of getting clients where I know if I send out, 10, 15, however many cold emails, I'll almost certainly get 1 or 2 clients from that. Like, it's just such a peace of mind thing that is so important in today's world. So this is the difference between just trying out cold emailing versus using this entire system where every single step builds on the last one, right? All of your marketing is working together to not tell, but sell. Not just throw something up based on guesswork, but actually approach it strategically in a way that is meant to convert. And this is really, really what I want for y'all, because this is what life looks like when you're making 5 to 8K a month writing part-time hours, okay? You can have that financial stability and freedom you want, no more stress and strain and worry. You can have control over your schedule. Y'all, are any of the rest of y'all night owls? Because I do not do mornings. If I see 6 a.m., my ass is going back to sleep. Okay, so this is a big one for me personally. Control over your schedule. Work when you want. Maybe you want to work at night. Maybe you want to work in the afternoon. And take time off when you need it. So important. The most valuable part of doing this for me over the years. Also, ditching the day job that is just draining you, right? Ditching micromanaging bosses. Be your own boss and work independently. Instead, have more time for your passions like travel. Maybe if you're like me, you write fiction, writing a novel, start a YouTube channel. One of my students was a successful freelance writer and went on to start a booktube channel with her free time. I'll show you her story in a minute. It's really, really cool. Or maybe, if you're like me, you simply take more time to rest. I do 2 scheduled rests a day currently, and I take little 5, 10, 15-minute breaks, usually every hour and a half or so. It's not always a very strict, structured thing, but it's so important for me, given my chronic health issues, to be able to do that. Crucial. Like, I could not work a full-time job. I would tell you, I could not work a full-time job right now. That is why it's so important to have this life and have this freedom that freelancing can give you. Also, so you can take time off when life is lifing, right? No more 2 weeks of PTO, good luck, or begging for an off day. It's just so demeaning to have to do that as an adult, right? Like, I'm an adult. I want to control my time. And more time and memories with loved ones. Those of y'all who have been around a while know that I traveled full-time with my husband and our 2 little Chihuahua fur babies, and it was just the best memory of my entire life. Like, it was an amazing time, and I'm so grateful that I had a business that allowed me to do that, to work less, so you can spend the time with the people who matter the most, doing the things that actually bring you joy and light you up instead of just getting by. I want you to know, whether you're a beginner or you have some experience, this can be your reality too. So, are you at a place right now where you are like, yes, I want to make 5 to 8K a month or more freelance writing while writing part-time, 25 hours per week or less? Because this is exactly what I have helped over 2,500 students learn how to do inside of Killer Cold Emailing. This is the 2.0 edition of my best-selling program that I've been running for about 10 years now, and all your pre-built marketing assets are included. That is so freaking exciting, y'all. I am thrilled to be able to offer you this because it's not just course videos like Yawn, who even has time for that shit. You know what I mean? It's your niche finder AI bot. It's your one-click install pre-built writer website. It's your pre-written cold emailing templates, pre-built assets that save you all the time and all the guesswork in the world. It is just so cool to get these pre-built marketing assets you need to get your clients fast, whether you have some experience or you are a total beginner. So take a look at these testimonials because they are so exciting. Sarah said, before I took the course, I was working in content mills that took advantage of me. But in the first month after I took the course, I made 1,000 more than I ever had before. And now I make 9 to 12 grand per month. Y'all, 9 to 12 grand per month. That is financial security. That is financial freedom. She said she went from feeling defeated to this income level, and the course was a game changer for her. So proud to share this story. William, I love his story too because y'all look at this. He said this helped him get where he wanted to go for 7 years, y'all. 7 years of trying. This goes back to what I was saying about there's a difference between doing something and doing it the right way. When you pivot to the right way, everything starts to fall into place because you've got all the puzzle pieces, the entire marketing ecosystem working together to make your cold emails convert. So you can see William here says, I got swamped with work. He was swamped with work and writing full-time, a major breakthrough after 7 years. 7 years of trying. And Amy here, oh my gosh, another one of my favorite stories because she ended up starting a booktube channel that is so fun. I watch her videos, so they're really cool. But yeah, she said, I work about 25 to 30 hours per week, but have never been happier. It gives me so much time to dedicate to other passion projects like my booktube, personal writing, and my health. Oh, I love this too. She says, I learned more from your course about launching a business than my actual business degree. Y'all, that is so freaking exciting because a business degree is like tens of thousands of dollars, right? So imagine having access to this that can literally change your life and set you up to pursue your passions and take care of yourself. Do something kind for yourself by taking care of yourself financially and health-wise, right? Amy says this was the best investment she has ever made and has made so many things possible in her life, y'all. This is what I want for you. Yes, it's about the income you can make, but it's about how does that income change your life, just like Amy here. So this is what I want for y'all too. So let me show you how you will use the pre-built marketing assets inside Killer Cold Emailing to get high-paying clients. And by the way, I will have Michael post the link to join in the comments, so click over now and you can join now while the course is open. Oh, also, there is a bonus that is like almost sold out, so I'll talk about that in a minute. But first, here is how you will use the pre-built marketing assets inside Killer Cold Emailing to get high-paying clients. All right, first things first, when you log in, the first thing I want you to do is when you get your login, you're going to get your pre-built writer website, the one-click install. You're going to get that launched in 5 minutes or less. I mean, a lot of people, it literally just takes like 2 minutes because it's literally just a file that you drop in. So you're going to do that and it's all going to be launched. All your 5-page website is going to be launched, okay? Then you're going to start the Killer Cold Emailing method with pre-built marketing assets, okay? Not watching a bajillion course videos if you don't want to. You can just skip through and use the shortcuts, right? So you'll find your niche using my proprietary AI niche finder bot that will also tell you your target clients in seconds. So cool. You'll fill out and drop in the pre-written writer website copy template, proven to convert. Again, like saves you so much time and saves you from guesswork. And you get the copy and paste cold emailing templates. So you will use those to start getting clients after you use the niche finder bot and then you drop in your copy. Like it's super simple and easy. And these are the steps you're going to take to create your full-time income writing part-time. So here's the thing, y'all. I really wanted to make this course, keep this course, because it has been, as accessible as I possibly can, so that anyone serious about creating an income freelance writing could join and make back their investment quickly with just one client. So when you think about it like this, like you have some other options. Hiring me one-on-one long-term would cost $2,000 or more. And I'm not currently taking on like long-term coaching clients like that. College courses, $1,500 a pop or more, right? And the problem is you don't even get actual actionable advice to get clients or financial freedom. Other online courses cost $1,000 or more, and those are just, well, I'm gonna say it, those are just a lot of boring ass videos usually. Like, let's be real, you don't get the pre-built marketing assets or templates. So with Killer Cold Emailing and everything else you get inside, all your pre-built stuff, you can start for just $137 today and then 4 more payments of $137. That is it. You get all of the assets right now, even if you join with a payment plan or you pay in full or you use Klarna and Afterpay. You'll see those options when you click over. So click over now and check it out. The link is posted by Michael in the chat and it is also in the description box. So go check it out and start now for just that one payment of $137 and then 4 more easy monthly payments. Or, and this is huge because I have not been able to offer this until this year, or you can join with Klarna and Afterpay to get an even more flexible payment plan and save about $200. The pay in full option will also save you about $200, but if I were you, I would click over to that course sales page now and check out the Klarna and Afterpay options because some of those are as low as around $41 a month. So they are very flexible. They have all kinds of options available when you go through that checkout process. Now, this is really important. This is another one of those things where I'm going to say, make sure you know this. Like, don't leave this video not knowing this because this is such a huge, huge deal, y'all. I am offering free one-on-one coaching, one free one-on-one coaching session with me, which is a $697 value when you join now, okay? Free one-on-one coaching for the first 20 students There's only 11 left. I need to update the sales page because we've had a couple sales come in as I've been talking, and I need to update the slide. But as of right now, there's only about 11 left, a couple less than that, I think. Spots are filling quickly, so make sure you join now to secure yours. I mean, a lot of the spots are gone, and it just opened up earlier today. So if you want one-on-one support from me, you want to ask me a question about your niche or your writer website, I can review your entire writer website. You can send me a bunch of long-ass paragraphs about your niche and target clientele ideas. I love when students do that because it helps me get the context to give you clarity and a great answer. So you'll send your question or an asset you want me to review, whether it's your cold email, your entire writer website, within 90 days of joining, and I will send you a custom Loom coaching video answering your question in great detail. I go above and beyond with these coaching videos. This isn't just me going, hey, yeah, so that's a good niche. All right, bye. It is absolutely not that, okay? I make a bunch of long-ass notes in a Google Doc, and I send you a Loom screen sharing all my notes, all my thoughts, all my ideas, all my actionable advice, and I always try to over-deliver on these because I know the power of getting one-on-one coaching from someone who has 10 years of experience doing this is huge, okay? So if you are interested in this, I'm gonna hop over and check in a minute and make sure that these spots aren't sold out. I mean, if you enroll like right now and it goes like over 1 or 2, obviously I'll honor that, right? But as of right now, there aren't a whole lot of spots left, so click over now, join, and enroll. Whether you enroll with Afterpay, Klarna, my pay in full option, or our in-house payment plan, you will get this free one-on-one coaching if you secure one of these first 20 spots before they sell out. So definitely click over now and join and enroll and get that instant access because I do expect these to sell out by tomorrow morning. Last time I did this offer, which was last October, they sold out in less than 24 hours. Okay, so I would definitely say get in today. Definitely get in today if you want to snag this bonus. It's such a big deal, y'all, to get one-on-one hand-holding type of help from someone who has been doing this for so long. I'd really love to work with you in this way, so definitely click over now and join and enroll so you can secure your spot with this bonus. Because you can start now for just one payment of $137 plus 4 more easy monthly payments, or you can pay in full, or you can join with Afterpay. If you do either of those things, pay in full or join with Afterpay and Klarna, you'll save about $200. So like I said, if you're gonna go with the payment plan, try to go for Klarna and Afterpay first, just because you'll save if you use those options. But if not, you always have the payment plan as a backup. And it is such a great deal as well, considering all the amazing resources, pre-built stuff you are getting inside of this program. Like literally the website and the niche finder AI bot and the template alone is worth way more than the entire investment in the program. So a really, really cool thing, great opportunity to get in on this. And I only open this course usually like a couple or a few weeks out of the entire year. So please don't wait. Please take action now. You can do this. This is a great time to be doing freelance writing. Y'all know I've been talking about we're in the middle of a freelance writing gold rush right now. It is the time to strike while the iron is hot. So definitely click over now and join. And again, as a thank you for paying in full as a bonus, you can save about $200 versus the in-house payment plan. Also, you will save about $200 when you join with Afterpay or Klarna. So they will show you some different payment options. I don't have any control over like what they show, but if you click over now, click that link that Michael posted in the chat or the link down below in the description box. And then you'll see these red buttons like this on the course sales page. Underneath that, you'll see the special link to join with Afterpay, and it'll direct you to join with either Afterpay or Klarna. So cool because it is really flexible and payments start at usually around $41 a month. I mean, it really doesn't get more flexible than that. So it is a really, really cool thing that I am so thrilled I've been able to offer. I have so many people say, can you offer a lower payment plan? Can you give us some other options? And I said, absolutely I can, and I will. So I am so thrilled to offer this. We've already had several people sign up via Klarna and Afterpay today. So I am so glad you guys are loving this. I will continue to offer it as long as you guys are telling me, hell yeah, we want this for sure. So Join Killer Cold Emailing now. Again, this is the Killer Cold Emailing 2.0 with all your pre-built marketing assets. And if you join while the coaching is still available, the one-on-one coaching spots, you're also getting free one-on-one coaching with me, which is really a hell of a deal. Just saying. I mean, it's a big deal to get one-on-one coaching. So here are your 3 options: $137 today and then 4 more payments. That is my announced payment plan. The most popular option is the pay in full. One payment, you save about $200 of $497, and then Afterpay plans start at about $41 a month. So click the button below now to enroll and get your instant access so I can welcome you into the program. I am so thrilled to hear about y'all's success stories. I mean, the last time I opened it, I had people so quickly being like, oh my gosh, I just got my first gig. Oh my gosh, like I made this much this month. Like, I want to be a part of your freelance writing success story. I want to be a part of your journey, and I know that you can do this with Killer Cold Emailing. So remember, you get not only a video course, right? You do get the videos, but like I said, you can skip them if you want and just go straight to the shortcuts. Your pre-built marketing assets, pre-built writer website, your niche finder AI bot, and the pre-written copy and paste cold emailing templates proven to convert in today's market. All of these things alone are worth more than the investment in the course, right? Like, it is crazy to get all these assets, not just course videos, as well as getting free one-on-one coaching, which again, those spots sold out in about 24 hours last time, actually a little bit less than 24 hours. So I would say definitely join now to make sure you can secure that one-on-one coaching spot. And remember, I have an in-house payment plan, or you can pay in full or use Klarna or Afterpay to save about $200 on the total investment in the program. So my friends, click below to join now and get your instant access. Let me know when you have joined so I can clap and throw fake confetti in the air, because I'll be really excited. And again, just like I said earlier, y'all, to Kenya, I want to hear from you. Like, email me and my team a month after you join and let us know, what results have you gotten? Because we love celebrating our student successes, and there are just so many of them, and I am so proud to be able to be a part of your freelance writing journey and put you on a path to the financial freedom and security and stability that you want. So I am thrilled to be able to offer this to y'all. Thank you so much for being here, and click below to join now and get your instant access to Killer Cold Emailing 2.0. And that is it, my friends. So why don't we switch over and do a little live Q&A? I am going to scroll up on the chat over here and see if I missed anything, because there's a pretty good chance of that. I know we were breezing through it there. So thank you guys so much for sticking it out with me. Let me know what questions y'all have. And like I said, I will scroll up in the chat and try to start at the top. But if I miss your question, I promise you I'm not doing it on purpose. I am just trying to find out all the questions in this little chat box. So let's see. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Daniel. Taylor is right. Yeah. Just email the team hello@writingrevolt.com to get it switched over. You'll be good to go. I'm going to scroll up. Daniel says, is the new version Killer Cold Emailing 2.0? It absolutely is. Y'all, I don't know why I'm leaving this slide up. Let me switch over to my face. I think I'm doing this right. Okay, I did do it right. Yay. Also, y'all, funny story. The internet at my home decided that it did not want to continue working this week. So, as maybe you can tell by the very weird background, I'm currently at an Airbnb. I was like, you know what? I really want to make sure that I can deliver a ton of value at this class and that it is like doing its thing. The internet is not getting fucked up and cutting out. I always want to make sure, if you guys are signing up for this, I want to make sure I'm delivering something really high quality. So here I am at this weird little Airbnb that I rented for a day just for the internet connection. All right. I am at the top. The Anywhere Gardener says, I purchased the first Killer Cold Emailing. Is this one totally different? If you have the really old one from like 2018 vibes, like a long time ago, it might say Killer Cold Emailing -bundle in your Teachable account. And if it does, just email my team at hello@writingrevolt.com and we'll get you sorted and upgraded and all that good stuff. We'll give you all of the info. Let's see. I feel like I saw a couple of niche questions up at the top. Okay, here's some. And you guys post any questions you have down below. I'll hang out for another 30 minutes or so. And this is a great opportunity to ask questions about the program or joining, or if you have questions about your niche idea or what it might look like to implement this program for your specific niche idea, or really just whatever you need help with. I'm here to help y'all out, so totally up to y'all. Spring Tigress said, how do you determine your niche and see which niches are oversaturated? So the great thing about this marketing strategy inside Killer Cold Emailing is it makes saturation irrelevant, right? So I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but most writers, and I mean like 90 to 90, I would say 95% actually, based on my 10 years of experience doing this and being very in this industry, most writers don't have a profitable niche and don't have their marketing done right. So imagine you are doing two of those things. You're doing both of those things. I mean, you are already in your own pond, right? You're not even competing with those saturation people who are like down here not marketing themselves right. You are in your own pond only with that like top 5% of writers simply from the marketing side of things, right? So has nothing to do with skill set, just your marketing. So like I said earlier too, perception is reality in marketing. That is why it is so important to create the perception that you are trustworthy using trust signals throughout your marketing strategy, because that is actually what makes saturation and even things like AI totally irrelevant, as well as niching down properly and properly and profitably. Okay, I'm getting a bit tongue-tied, but I think I said that right. All right. Let me scroll up here. Okay, Anywhere Gardner said, how would you find companies to write for in a specific niche like pet care? I think you said you had a different version of Killer Cold Emailing. If you have an older version, just email my team at hello@writingrevolt.com and they will give you all the information and get you sorted out there. They can do it so much better than I can because I'm like on my live right now and I don't have access to like any of the other screens. It'll get all screwed up if I switch over. So you can email my team and either me or one of my awesome team members will be able to help you out, get you upgraded, and get going. Oh my gosh, I just lost track of the question I was just on. Okay, no, I think it was finding clients for pet care specifically. So yeah, you would want to think about those two main factors, which are going to be demand and budget. Okay, demand and budget. Those are the two big things. Like who has a demand for what you do? So for example, if you're writing pet care blog posts, say that you find a company, maybe, what are those like subscription boxes? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like you get a subscription box and you get a box every month of pet care items. I forgot what it's called. If y'all know, help me on the chat because my brain is not working right now, apparently. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Like a subscription box that gives you toys and treats for your dog every month. Maybe you go to one of their websites and you're like, okay, I want to pitch them blog posts. But then they don't have a blog at all. And they never publish blog posts. Well, we don't want to pitch them blog posts then. You know what I mean? Because that indicates they don't have a demand. Oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes, we want to look for demand. The first step in looking for demand, at least, is saying, do they already currently publish the specific type of copy that I am offering? So that's the demand piece, right? And then budget, you know, there's a lot of research that I could go into on that would take like a little bit of a long time, but you can kind of discern someone's budget. I mean, at a basic level, like if it's like a pet care blog that is only making money off of like Google ads and they're like barely breaking $100 a month. I mean, obviously they're not going to have any money to pay you with, right? So we don't want to sell to broke ass clients because then we will be broke ass writers. So we want to sell to clients who are making a lot of money, and this is really important too, not only making a lot of money, but investing a lot of that revenue back into their copy and content marketing. So that is really, really important to think about when you are niching. Yes, oh my gosh, BarkBox. I should know that. I have dogs, so I don't know what my deal is. Probably a Chewy subscription has that one too. I used to have that, so yes, BarkBox. Y'all are my people. Y'all know all about the dog stuff. Do y'all have dogs? Let me know. Y'all know probably that I have Chihuahuas and love Love, love, love them. I think they're the best dogs in the whole world. But yeah, let me know what kind of dogs y'all have. I love talking about dogs, love seeing them. They're great. Desiree says, how do you find the people for who you reach out to when you cold email? I have company names, but not the names. So there are a lot of different methods you can use that I cover in detail inside of the Killer Cold Emailing program. So there are unpaid methods, and then there are paid methods that you can use that are, really, really on the affordable end, but they're also totally, completely optional. And most of them have free trials, so you can just max out all the free trials. But the important thing, again, is to do it right. You know what I mean? It's really, really important to make sure you are pitching the right person at the right company. And those are the most important things foundationally, which is covered in great detail inside of Killer Cold Emailing. Oh my gosh, you have a Chiweenie. That is so, so sweet. I'm kind of jealous. I've been telling my husband already, we're getting another dog this year. We're getting a third dog for sure. Leon says, cat person, orange tabby. Orange cats are my favorite. They're so, so sweet. Salim says, if I have a list of companies, do I need to warm them up first, or can I start sending emails right away? Can I use my dedicated Gmail account? So Salim, great questions. Thank you for asking, and thank you for being here. You can use your dedicated Gmail account, but what I would really recommend is you hook Gmail up to your custom domain. That way it comes from Salim at whatever your business name is .com, just because, like we've kind of talked about, it boosts the client's perception of you. And it's like, if a client can sense that you're taking yourself seriously, they are going to take you seriously, right? You are going to be elevated in their mind as far as what level of freelancer you are, whether you're actually at that level or not, right? It's all about the perception that you're creating. And then of course you're going to earn as you learn, so you will actually live up to that. But the marketing part is about the perception. So you can use a Gmail account, but what I would prefer and recommend is getting that custom domain and hooking it up to Gmail. That is what I do. It's pretty easy to do, and you do need a custom domain for your business anyway. So it's a pretty easy switch to make, and I would say it's high impact enough trust signal wise for you to make that switch. And then you asked, do I need to warm them up first, or can I start sending emails right away? So inside of Killer Cold Emailing, I have two different approaches to cold emailing. One of them is called the one-line approach, and one of them is called the wide net approach. If you, Salim, are going for a big client, and they're like a dream client, if I am pitching Nike or Apple or whatever, a huge dream client that I'm just oh my gosh, I really want this, then you would probably want to warm them up some. But, and this is a big thing that I want to make sure you guys hear, the vast majority of the time, 95% of the time or more, especially if you're a beginner or you don't have a lot of experience, you are going to use that wide net strategy, which is more of just sending out a bunch of cold emails, playing that numbers game, and not bothering warming them up, because you don't have to do warm emailing. I think there's been a lot of big misconceptions going around in today's market that you have to warm up your cold emails. You have to. It's just not true, y'all. And again, I'm not just saying this. I'm saying this based on my 10 years of experience and my deep involvement in this industry for a long ass time, basically. I can't even believe I've been doing it that long. Wow. But yeah, I think hopefully that will help. You probably don't need to warm them up, but if it's a dream client or a significantly more prestigious type of client than who you would normally pitch, then yeah, you could take those extra steps just to be I want this amazing client. I want to do everything I can. But especially if you're just starting out, if your niche is not validated yet, all that stuff, we want you to instead be just pumping out those cold emails, copy and pasting and hit and send, because that is what's going to get you those results quickly. Thank you guys for sharing about your pets and animals. That's so cute. I'm a dog sitter and I have a ton. I am so jealous. I wish I could just be hanging out with dogs all day long. It sounds like the best thing ever. Kimberly says, I have 2 puggles. I love their little smush faces. They're so sweet. So sweet. The Anywhere Gardener says, a business name. That brings up a question. How do you choose a good business name, or should it just be my name? So I love this question. I think what I typically recommend for people, people coming into Killer Cold Emailing, is just choose the path of least resistance, right? When we're starting out, we don't want to put any unnecessary roadblocks in front of us. We don't need a logo. We don't need a badass business name. We don't need branding. We don't need any of that stuff. myname.com, keep it really simple, or mynamewrites.com, jordanwrites.com, or jordanmckel.com in my case. So you can do that. I think that's just like a really easy, straightforward option. And I think it's just good to have your name as the domain, like own your domain. Own the domain of your name. Am I saying that right, y'all? I hope so. But I hope that helps. Otherwise, I think, you can always just like brainstorm different business names based on the vibe you want, if you want to do something like that, or, use like a writing pun or something. But really, I would just go with like your name, yournamewrites.com, something that looks really simple and professional and is just straightforward and allows you to like pivot your niche later if you need to, because that's totally normal too. I want to be sure to let y'all know that it's normal to pivot your niche, okay? I pivoted my niche last year. Like at the beginning of last year, I was like, okay, this is working, but I think I can do something that works better. And I've pivoted my niche so many times in my career. Very, very normal thing to do. So that is one thing I would say. If you want to consider having a business name and domain name that opens you up to have that flexibility, I think that's really smart. Let's see. Scrolling. I'm so glad that my voice did not decide to give out. I was really worried, y'all. Like about 45 minutes in, I was like, oh my gosh, I need a water. So thank y'all for bearing with me through that. Okay. And by the way, again, if I missed your question, please post it again so I can answer. Bright Page, hello. Oh my gosh, welcome. I'm so glad you made it. I was so excited to see your comment earlier today. It may have been a comment from yesterday, but I remember replying to it earlier. So I'm so glad you're here. Love cats too, but my husband's allergic to those. Oh no. Love the question about warming up potential clients. Yeah, that was a very, very smart question. So thank you, Salim, for asking that. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Deborah says I use Gmail only for lists and subscriptions. That totally works too. I think, like I said, if you want to use Gmail with your custom domain, it's pretty easy to hook that up, and that's typically what I recommend. Laura says, is anyone else having trouble with guest posting? I thought this would be the easiest way to get some social proof, but the leads I emailed want to charge me for it. Oh, really? Any tips? So Laura, what niche are you in? Let me know what niche you're in, and I might be able to offer some helpful information, or at least some guidance on like what to do, because it can kind of vary based on whatever your niche is. So, scrolling. Leon says, I was going to follow up on Salim's question on custom domain. I have created custom domains before, so it shouldn't be bad. Yeah, you definitely will need a custom domain for your client converter website. I need to add this. I need to add this into this training. A trust signal is having a custom domain, because it's one of those things that positions you in a client's mind as someone who is to be taken seriously. Okay. Again, positioning is all about the client's perception of you. And we've got to be positioning ourselves as someone who is taking themselves seriously, so we can be taken seriously by clients. Because a client will look at your website, or if it's just like one of those like, hold on, let me scoot my chair up here. If it's just one of those like free portfolio websites, they're going to look at that and be like, well, this person isn't even investing in themselves. They're not even taking this seriously enough to get their own website. Why should I take them seriously enough to pay them? It sucks kind of, right? It's a harsh thing to hear, but I just want to give you guys like the reality of the client's perception, and why it is so incredibly important to have that website and custom domain. Bright Pages, oh, you said trust signal. Yes, I don't know if you were here earlier, but we did a whole little slide on the trust signals. Y'all know it's one of my favorite things to talk about, because it's really a light bulb moment I find for a lot of people who come into my program, or even those who do coaching with me. So it's really cool. Bright Page says, is the business freelancing or an LLC? So it can depend, and I got to do an obligatory disclaimer here that I cannot give legal or financial advice, so this is not that. I can tell you what I did, which was just keep it so insanely simple starting out. these are not the things we want you to be stressing out when you're a beginner, because there's already your marketing that you need to take care of, right? So when I started out, I was a sole proprietor for a long time, a very long time. So do with that what you will. For me, it was just the path of least resistance, right? It's kind of like I said about, we don't want to stress about logos and business names and branding. We don't need to worry about any of that. This is kind of another one of those things where it's like, don't put any additional stressors on yourself. If you can help it, just get the marketing piece done, and then you can grow and evolve as you learn. I think a lot of people really don't give themselves the opportunity to grow and evolve, or they feel like a lack of confidence, so they don't even start to begin with. But the truth is, confidence only comes by doing something, right? And sometimes we've got to force ourselves to be a little bit uncomfortable to gain that confidence and to gain the competence, like knowledge that we need to become more confident. So y'all let me know, are you guys feeling like you're struggling with like your confidence? Because I talk to a lot of writers and I've noticed like that's been a repeat thing people say to me, like confidence. I'm having a problem with my confidence. And I'm just sitting here like, man, I've got all these like practical tips, but maybe I need to make more tutorials on like confidence building, because it really is like a foundational piece of this. Okay, let's see. Desiree says, I love writing and I love animals. That's how I decided my niche. That's amazing, Desiree. I think that is such a great start. I mean, that's what we want to be doing, right? Going for something that we love. And then, of course, taking it that step further and making sure we're going for a target clientele who has a demand and budget for what we offer. That is how we can thrive in our passion niches. So I think you're off to an amazing start. Taylor, welcome to the course. Taylor Renee says, just signed up. Yay. If I had confetti, just imagine I have some and I'm throwing it up in the air right now. Insert celebration emoji here. I'm so excited to welcome you in, Taylor. If you would like to, like I said earlier to Kenya, a gentle invitation, no pressure at all. If you would like to follow up with me in a month, me and my team, hello@writingrevolt.com. Let us know about your progress. I'd love to hear from you. You know, I'd love to hear about your results when you implement what you learned. So feel free to follow up with us in a month or so. I'm graduating from college soon. That is so exciting. What did you get a degree in? That is really cool. And been writing on my Medium publication for a year. Okay, you're in a great position to start doing this. That is so awesome. Excited to learn from you. Thanks, Jordan. You are so welcome. I am excited to be a part of your freelance writing journey. That is so cool. And you can put those writing samples, especially if they're niche relevant, on that client converter website. So you're in a great spot, and I'm so excited to be a part of your journey. Thank you so much for joining. Oh, and you got the free one-on-one coaching too. So make sure you submit your question for that when you're ready. So cool. Let's see. The challenge keeps scrolling back up for some reason. Okay, I think I'm back in the right spot. Okay, Juan is saying, in your experience, what types of writing samples land you the most clients? I love this question. I think it is a really smart question to be asking. So your writing samples need to be niche relevant, and they should only be your best samples, okay? So here's another thing that's really important. A lot of beginners, myself included when I started out, don't realize you do not need 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 writing samples. You really don't. Especially for beginners. And this is probably going to take a big weight off your shoulders. You only really need 2 to 3 writing samples starting out. But they've got to be strategic, right? Just like everything we've talked about here today. It's not just about doing it, trying it, guessworking it. It's about doing it right. So we want your writing samples to be niche relevant to your specific type of target clientele. So for example, if I was coaching someone and they were saying, I want to write healthcare case studies. Well, I would say, that's great. That's a very profitable niche area. We're going to get you going. You need 2 to 3 case study writing samples specific to healthcare on your portfolio page, which is just one page on your bigger writer website. That is really important too, Juan. So make sure you keep that in mind too. Your portfolio is not just one page of writing samples. It's not samples. It is, I don't even like using the word portfolio. It is a strategic business website built to convert. One page on that site is your portfolio page. That contains your 2 to 3 niche relevant writing samples. So again, healthcare case studies, write a couple of those. You can do some mock projects if you want, personal projects. Do your thing. Clients really usually don't care about that kind of stuff. If you can do the work, you can do the work. So I think that's a great way to get started. And yeah, again, such a smart question, but let me know if you need any other clarification on that, because I am so happy to help. Leon says, I remember you can use Google Trends to follow what's new. I've used Google Trends a little bit. I don't use it super often in like my daily workflow or anything, but I love that you use that. And I think it's a great tool, especially for certain niches. Like I think it's really good to like stay up to date in your industry and things like that. So I think that's great. Laura says, my chosen niche is beauty and skincare. Okay, I love that. I'm very into skincare and I like makeup too. So that's very cool. I'm already starting to overthink it. Oh no. Well, I think let's kind of dial it back to like the big picture, right? The big picture is you can make a niche work if you find the target clientele who has the demand and budget for what you do. So keep those things in mind, Laura. Gosh, I wish I knew more. I wish I could just like recommend you a specific site for guest posting. Maybe make a list of like your favorite makeup brands or skincare brands and ask if they want to hire you for a guest post. I mean, that's probably what I would do. That's how I would start out. That's like, shoot your shot. I think it would be so worth it. And again, like I've said to a couple other people here, I would love for you to follow up with me when you land one of those. I would love to like celebrate that with you. But yeah, let me know if you have any other specific questions regarding that. Okay. X says, if we have no prior examples to put on the client converter website. Oh, your name is L. Okay, sorry. I was reading your username. If we have no samples, is there something extra we should add to it without real work to show? So that is totally okay. It's totally normal. Like when we start out, we don't have work to show. I'm going to tell you all a little secret. When I started out, I had a very strategic optimized client converter website. Even as a beginner, I did not have a single sample on my website when it first launched. And it still won me clients. That is how powerful this conversion structure is. Like, it's kind of wild, right? No samples. That being said, I almost was hesitant to say that because you do actually want to have 2 to 3 niche relevant samples, but I just wanted to throw that in to show how powerful that website is when it's structured that way. But yeah, you can make your own samples and just call them personal projects, like label it as a personal project. It doesn't have to be like, this is a mock writing sample in like 24 size font, huge. Like just put a little label that says personal project on it and do a mock project. You can whip that up in a Google Doc, Canva. But really what I would want for you after that, right? It goes back to the earn as you learn thing. We want you to, as soon as you can, replace those mock samples with samples you've done for your clients. So you can see how you're earning as you learn and how this process builds on itself and your income and clientele can snowball as you grow and learn. But I love that you are coming into this going, I don't have samples, but that's okay. Now, what do I do about that? I think that is the absolute right mindset to have, because a lot of people would come into this and go, I don't have samples, so I guess I can't do this. Like, I guess I'm not going to do this. And I think you've got the exact right attitude and mindset here. Like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do next? How can I like overcome this kind of issue? So I love that question. Thank you so much for asking it. Let me make sure I got your whole question. So is there something extra we should add to it even without real work? So basically it's just the overall optimization of the client converter website that converts, but then you'll want those 2 to 3 niche relevant samples, which you can totally create on your own. I have a lot of students who do that and they do a great job with it. So I think that would be your next step, L. Laura says long form blog posts for beauty and skincare companies. That sounds really cool. I can see like those ultimate guide style blog posts being really good, especially for like skincare or like roundups of popular products. So I would be really interested to learn more about that niche, but I think it would be cool to like just make a list of all the skincare and beauty brands that you love and maybe go down that and start pitching them. I think that would be really cool. Let's see. Oh no, Desiree says my confidence is crap. You are not alone, Desiree. Let me tell you, I talked to so many writers, and one of the biggest repeat issues that I hear is my confidence is not allowing me to take this step forward. So if that's you, I want you to know you can still do this, all right? And I want you to know too that confidence only comes by doing, right? It only comes by doing and seeing a positive result. And I think a lot of writers get scared because they feel like they have to start out and like pitch these big, scary clients, high pressure projects. That is not what we do, unless you want to, inside Killer Cold Emailing. We start you off small if you want to. Again, it's an option so that you can build your confidence and go through that gradual earn as you learn process. That is why it is so cool and so effective, because I'm not throwing you over in the deep end of the pool of freelance writing. We're wading in the water, and then we're going in the 3-foot section, in the 5-foot, and then we're treading water in the 8-foot section together. You know what I mean? It really is not this thing where you have to just be like, oh my God, I'm doing all this crazy stuff. Just start with where you feel comfortable now, knowing that it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable probably, right? Anytime we try to do something new, there's going to be a little bit of discomfort and a little bit of resistance from like our inner critic or inner self-saboteur or whatever we have going on. Do y'all have those things? Because I definitely do. And I want y'all to know, like, I still have these things too. I've been doing this for 10 years. I still get nervous when I do these live streams. Usually my neck like breaks out in hives, but it actually didn't today. So progress for me. I get nervous doing client phone calls. There are a lot of things that I still don't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so confident all the time. All of us who are doing these type of things are just making ourselves do the thing to the best of our abilities and trusting ourselves to figure it out along the way. So that's what I want for you guys as well, to jump in to the extent that you can, right? Not overwhelm yourself, but jump in and just take a step into the pool of doing this, right? And then you'll get that client and you'll get that positive feedback from the client and you'll go, oh my gosh, I really can do this. And that is the moment where the door just like busts down and you're just like, hell yeah, I am going to do this. I have confidence now, and it builds and builds and builds. But it's one of those things, it does take time to build up over time. So I hope that helps you. I hope that makes sense. Let's see. Oh, okay. Gary said, can someone send me a link to join? I'm so sorry that you didn't see it. I think it's just because the chat is like so poppin' today, which I'm so grateful for. Thank y'all so much for being here. We just had Michael post a link in the chat, and I believe it should be in the description box for this video as well. If it's not, I will probably just kick myself and be really mad at myself. No, it's okay. It's going to be in the chat, or probably I think I put it in the description box as well. Let's see here. Gosh, I hope I'm not missing anything. I'm trying to scroll back up a little bit more. I had to take a required business 101 class in college, Bright Page says. The first day, the professor asked, what is the one thing you need to start a business? 45 business major, hand shot up. Okay, people guessed. A store, a website, products or services. A customer. Yes, there's the answer. Oh my gosh, those college classes, man. They're always doing those kind of like questions and stuff to prove a point, right? Yes, he got us. That's so funny. Hey, it's right though. You got to have a customer. That's kind of been my whole point here today, I think, when I've said stuff like, don't worry about a logo, a business name, a branding, any of that stuff. Get a customer. LLC, get a customer first, right? And so much of that comes down to self-trust, right? It's trusting yourself to go, I'm going to jump in and start this, and I trust that everything's going to be figure-outable by me because I have access to Google and research, and I'm a competent, capable person because y'all are. Y'all can definitely do this. But thank you for sharing that story. That is so funny. It flashed me back to my marketing classes in college before I dropped out for the third time. So let's see. Desiree, I'm not doing any additional one-on-ones right now just because, honestly, because my health is kind of like at my capacity for one-on-ones. Like this 20 is kind of like, that's probably my limit for now. But I may open that up to Killer Cold Emailing students in the future, Desiree. I've actually thought about doing some different coaching options. It's just like, I got to do whatever my health can allow. So I am definitely considering that. If you want to follow up with me in like a month or so, you can email hello@writingrevolt.com, and I may be able to fit in a one-on-one. I'll let you know. But I only do that for existing students. Let's see. Yeah, you already joined, so you're good to go there. Only for existing students, so I'll let you know what options are available at that point. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, Desiree says the brain fog is hard with the writing. I know, it is tough. It is really, really tough, and obviously another disclaimer, this is not health advice. I can't give health advice, but for me, I have to take a lot of breaks, mental breaks, as in like meditating, sleep mask on, something nice in my ears, like nice ambient music or a sound bath. You know what I mean? Like I have to take dedicated mental breaks. I mean, even after I hop off of this live, I'm going to go like lay down for a little bit and just like not think about anything and give myself a mental break. So that is something that has helped me. But again, I know everyone's situation with their health is so different. So I'm definitely not here to preach at you about that, because I know when you have a chronic illness, that kind of thing can be so annoying as well. But I'm just so sorry you're going through that. I know it's really, really hard. And I know I've thought about this. Like I know a lot of times people, like family, when they come visit, they're like, oh, you look great. Or like when I'm on YouTube, y'all might be like, oh, looks normal to me, seems normal. But those of y'all who have chronic conditions know that is simply not the case. You can look fine and then be like, well, I'm struggling with my health, So I know it is like a really, really sensitive thing, Desiree, and I'm just really sorry you're going through that. I know it is so, so difficult. Bright Page says, I'm confident knowing the formats and the psychological principles. I love that. But I'm nervous I might let people down. That is a big one. Are you talking about clients? Because I can tell you, you probably at some point, this might scare some people, but it might relieve other people. So I'm going to say it. You probably will disappoint a client at some point. Like about, I think 2 months into my career, I had a client tell me that the blog post I wrote had a lot of fluff and it was totally unusable. And I was like, oh my God, like, did that really just happen? I was freaking out a little bit because that's hard to hear as a beginner when you already feel like, oh my gosh, I'm really putting myself out there doing this shit. Like getting that kind of feedback is hard, but it was just a learning experience, right? That's another part of the confidence piece of doing this is you have to go into this knowing sometimes people are going to be disappointed. Sometimes things aren't going to be perfect. Just like I told y'all earlier, my internet has been out at my house. It's been very spotty. So last minute, yesterday, I had to book this Airbnb so I could do this live stream here. My dog was awake till like 1:30 in the morning last night. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to I want my brain to be in like a nice space tomorrow when I do this like live class. But sometimes things just aren't perfect, Things like that may come up in life and in business, and it may be the other type of thing where you get client feedback that is not the greatest and you feel like you're disappointing people. But we always can use those as learning experiences to grow from. And it really, again, I think comes down to that self-trust of like, I can figure it out. Things are going to be hard sometimes, but I can figure it out. And I think that is like the attitude and mindset that I see in my students who end up becoming very successful at doing this. I'm willing to dip my toe in, knowing sometimes things may happen. I think it's that type of situation where it's like you choose your challenges, right? Do you want the challenge? I'll use myself as an example. Do I want the challenge of getting a full-time job right now with all the weird, shitty job postings and the awful job market and layoffs? Do I want that? Or do I want the challenges of running a freelancing and online course business? I'll take these challenges, please. I don't want all that other stuff. So I have chosen my own set of challenges. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I hope that helps and I'm not just totally rambling and going off topic. On that note, I'm losing my voice a little bit more, so I'm going to take another drink real quick. Oh, Richard. Richard is saying, could I start copywriting because AI scares me? You absolutely can, Richard. So basically the main thing you want to avoid is you don't want to do generic SEO content. The good news is those things never paid very well anyway. So like, let's just let AI have those. Let's let AI replace those. You know what I mean? When you niche profitably and you have your marketing done right and you're following all the steps I covered today, you don't really have to worry as much about AI and saturation and things like that. Plus, inside of the Killer Cold Emailing program, you actually get a niche up leveling process that I have not seen anyone else talk about anything even similar to this, right? I created this process last year when I updated my program, showing you how to up level your niche strategically over time to make it where AI literally cannot compete. So it's really cool. Definitely join Killer Cold Emailing if you're interested in learning how to do this, because you do not need to worry about AI. All right, let's see. Leon, I love that. Leon says, my confidence has boosted 10 times after watching the presentation. Y'all, I love to see it. I love to hear about it. That is what I'm here for. Thank you for letting me know. I'm going to work on writing a chapter tonight. That is amazing. What type of book are you writing? Let me know. Let me get my limitless pill going. Hey, send some of that my way because I really need it. AKA the magic pill. Yes, love that. Okay, yeah, Michael's posting the link again. So there's a link to join. Click over and enroll. Let's see. Yes. Oh my gosh. I was like, I know I've heard that somewhere. Marie Forleo, everything is figure outable. That is something that has stuck with me a lot. So yes, definitely something you can tell yourself again and again, because it really is. We just have to have a little bit of self-trust to get through this. You know what I mean? Desiree says, yes, I love my breaks. Same. Totally necessary. It's hard to also have a job and start this with a chronic illness. I totally understand that, Desiree. I am so sorry you're going through that. I think my best advice would just be pace yourself and focus on the highest impact activities. Have y'all ever heard that saying that 90% of your results comes from 10% of the effort? Focus on that 10% of effort that is going to get you the 90% of the results. So following the program step by step, using those pre-built assets will really help you out with that. Expert writer, I'm not sure what your name is. You can share if you'd like, but feel free not to. Totally fine to stay anonymous. Just enrolled. Welcome. I am so excited. Yay. Let's throw pretend confetti in the air. I feel like now I actually literally am like, I'm going to bring confetti next time. Or like, what are those like party popper thingies? We need something to get the excitement going. I'm in like this grandma looking Airbnb, so it doesn't quite fit the vibe, but yes, pretend I'm throwing confetti in the air because I'm so excited to welcome you in. That is so cool. You're asking how long would you recommend the samples be? Ooh, that's another great question. Totally depends on what you're writing though. Basically, your samples should be reflective of what you're going to be selling to your clients. So let's use case studies as an example because I was just talking about that, right? Let's say you're doing healthcare case studies. If I were doing that and I were starting out in it new, I would look up a bunch of healthcare case studies online from big reputable companies and go, what is the average number of pages of this? And it doesn't have to be exactly that, right? But what we want to do is kind of reverse engineer our samples based on what's already out there and working at a high level as much as we can, right? We're not going to be I didn't when I started out writing high level shit. I just told y'all like a client said that my blog post had fluff in it. And I was like, oh, well, okay, now I need to stop and take this as a learning experience. But yeah, basically you can think about it like that. Reverse engineering based on like, what are the top samples in your niche industry looking like? Like, are healthcare case studies typically 5 pages? Are they more like 20 pages? Find out and just kind of aim for that. And like I said, reverse engineer it so that what your samples look like is going to be what your client's interested in and what you're actually going to be offering to them. That's going to be, I think, a more helpful way to think about it, because there's not usually a specific word count unless you're doing like blog post writing. Sometimes there's like short blog posts and then longer blog posts, which are like 1,500 to 2,500 words typically ish, give or take. But I think it just comes down to figuring out what you're selling, what is your offer, and who your target clientele is. And you were going to learn so much about that inside of the course. So like, I'm not worried about you at all. You're going to be covered. Maybe you can log in. Ooh, here's another thing that I wanted to tell y'all about. So when you log into the program and join the course, you can use the Niche Finder AI bot for these types of questions too. Okay, so it's going to walk you through how to pick your niche, set your rates, and find the best target clients. And then when you're done speaking with the bot with all the prompts, then you can go in and ask the bot these types of questions. Like, okay, now based on my niche and all the info you've given me, how long should my samples be based on industry best practices? That is a hot tip. That is what I'm telling my students to do inside of the program. Go through that Niche Finder AI bot and then ask these other types of really smart questions, and you can get an answer from there as well. And also, you're going to get the one-on-one coaching, so you can ask me when you're ready to fill that out if you'd like. Let's see. What else do we have here? Joey is saying, I'm so sorry you're not feeling well. Thank you so much. That is really sweet. I really appreciate it. Chronic conditions are nothing to sneeze at. They are not. I so appreciate any support you guys give, even if it's just like a like on a video means so much to me. Commenting on a video, being here in the chat, of course, enrolling and just showing up live. I love that kind of stuff too. But any support you offer, any kind words, it means so much to me. It does not go unnoticed. Like, I remember y'all's names, y'all's like avatar photos and stuff. I'm not just this like cold, like detached person who is just doing a video or whatever. It really does mean a lot to me. So thank you. I really appreciate it. Bright Paint says so helpful. I love all those star emojis. Those are some of my faves. So I feel like we're on the same wavelength here. These are great questions. Your students are sharp tax. They absolutely are. They really, really are. And they come in so willing and ready to do this. And I think that's why they get such great results, because they're just like, yep, this is going to be a little uncomfortable. This is new to me. This is scary, but like, I'm going to do it. I'm surrendering to this process, and I'm going to do the process because I know it works. So it ends up being really cool. A Card 89 says, did you have any, hold on, wait, did I miss something? Okay, never mind. Did you have any screenwriters in your coaching classes? So I don't have screenwriters. That is like pretty much one of the only things. Screenwriting and fiction writing, I wouldn't recommend. Those are more creative pursuits, whereas with freelancing, we are looking to like make money writing for businesses in like a repeatable, profitable way. So that is not what I would recommend for this program. But like I said, really screenwriting, fiction writing, poetry are like the only things pretty much that I would say, no, probably not a fit. So if you have any other questions, let me know. Like if anyone is considering joining, but you have a question that you would like answered first, or any questions about like enrollment or the process or whatever, let me know, because I may hop off here in about 10 minutes or so, or until questions run out. So let me know. But to expand on that, because I can expand on that a little bit, the way I see it in my own life, because I write fiction as well. I am a published flash fiction writer, and I'm currently writing a novel. But I see that as totally separate from my freelance writing business, my online coaching and course business. Two separate things, business and art, right? Business is over here, and it's business, and it's what I'm doing to fund my art. So my pursuits of fiction writing and short story writing and writing my novel, those things are separate for me. And I found that that's been a really good way for me to think about it and like kind of compartmentalize those different parts of my life, if that makes sense. Let's see. Gina says, if you don't do SEO, how can you be attractive to companies? Because this isn't the main thing that they want to rank in Google searches. This is a great question, Gina. So what I'm finding today, and of course, there's some variations in this, right? But because of the AI search stuff going on now, SEO is a lot less important. And a lot of the higher paying copywriting gigs are going to be more, bottom of funnel content. So with regards to your question, isn't the main thing that they want to rank in Google searches? Not always. Sometimes they just want to share an announcement, right? Sometimes they want to convert a customer. So think about it, like writing a case study, for example, or a white paper. those are tools that they use internally to help convert customers. And you don't even really have to write conversion copy to write those type of things. That's why it's so great. It's just a tool that they use that way. So I love this question. Thank you for asking it, Gina, and opening up this conversation because it's a really, really important one. But yeah, definitely don't worry about not having SEO knowledge. You do not need that at all. A lot of even blog posts are just for engagement and brand building and different things like that. Now, some of them, will want SEO, but even with that, it's a really easy thing to do. You can find like a guide for that on the internet. It goes back to that wonderful saying of everything is figure outable. You can figure out anything, but again, you don't have to have SEO knowledge. Some things are just for like brand building, engagement, like a newsletter, for example, might be for engagement or making an announcement, like a company announcing that they have a conference coming up, or like the email I sent announcing that I was doing this video today. So people have all kinds of different goals. And when you plug into your target client's goal, that is when you can be really successful, because when you're plugged into that goal, you can really deliver something great and charge a lot of money for it, which is always a good thing, right? Let's see. Basima? Oh my gosh, I hope I'm saying that right. Again, y'all, please correct me if I'm saying anyone's name wrong so I can get it right. I joined and finally self-published on Medium. That is great. Welcome. And I am so excited for you. That is awesome progress. Put yourself out there. I love that. AG says, with compartmentalizing your writing, do you keep a pen name, multiple pen names for the different type of word? I've been thinking about doing that. Right now, everything's under Jordan McKell, but I will probably change the freelancing and business side of things before I change the fiction stuff. You know what I mean? Like when I get like my novel published or whatever, it will have my name, Jordan McKell, on it. So that'll be a fun day. I'll let y'all know in like years from now when that happens. But I think that is it, everyone. So let me switch back over to the screen here to remind y'all one more time to join the Killer Gold emailing program. I have not been able to look at what the coaching status is right now, if these spots have sold out. There were, let's see, how many were on the slide here? Because I edited this slide earlier today, so 11 left. So a few people have joined here, a couple other people joined earlier, so there may be a few spots left. If you join while we're on the live here, I will honor the free coaching. So if you want to join in the next few minutes or so while I'm here, then you can get one of those free one-on-one coaching spots. I'll update the sales page after that too to let you know how many are left or available, but I would imagine it's probably just a small handful left, if any. So make sure you get in now. I've got Michael in the chat helping us out, giving us the link. So click over to that link to join now, because you will get free one-on-one coaching from me, which again is pretty amazing. Just saying. It's a $697 value when you join now. These spots are filling up, so join now to secure yours. This is where you can literally write me like a long ass bunch of paragraphs about your niche and your target clients and all this stuff, or have me review your entire writer website. I'll go through every single page and screen share my thoughts with you, or I'll review your cold email. Whatever you want, you can get one-on-one support from me. This is totally async, by the way, and introvert friendly. So if you're busy, you're an introvert, guess what? This is perfect for you, because you'll just send me a question or an asset to review. You'll get the email when you join and you'll fill it out. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple, and I'll send you a custom Loom video answering your questions in detail. So this is like the best bonus I've ever offered by far, So really important to get in on this now. Again, you can join for just one payment at $137, then 4 more easy monthly payments after that. Or if you pay in full or join with Afterpay or Klarna, you will save about $200. So again, y'all, I want to make this really clear because it might save you something before you click over. If you are able to join with Klarna and Afterpay, I would start there if you want a payment plan, because it has more flexible payment options as well as the savings. So try that first. If it's not available in your country, then you are absolutely more than welcome to join with our in-house payment plan of 5 payments of $137. Regardless of which payment option you use, you are getting the one-on-one coaching and instant access to the entire program and all the resources. So the pay in full bonus is a savings of about $200, and you also get that bonus of a $200 around that savings when you join with Afterpay. So You can see here they have a lot of flexible payment options. I'm so excited to offer this. You guys have been asking for it for, gosh, a little while now. And I've finally sat down and figured out how to do it. So I am so excited to be able to offer this. Afterpay does kind of decide the options based on different people or whatever. So options may vary, but typically it'll be something like this. Payment starting at around $41 a month, which is just insane. I mean, you can literally like make back your investment so quickly, so fast with this proven process inside of the program. So go ahead and click over and start now. Michael has the link there in the chat, and then I have the link also. Ooh, gosh, I had a frog in my throat. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm losing my voice again. The link is also down there in the description box for you to join with the payment plan in-house, the one-time payment of $497, or Afterpay and Klarna, which starts at typically at about $41 a month. So this is the last chance to join. Go ahead and click over and get in now if you want to get that free one-on-one coaching session with yours truly, because I would love to help you out. Go ahead and click over now. Get in. I'm trying to stall. I'm trying to give y'all a last couple of minutes to get in and get this coaching. But yeah, this is the last chance. So I think that is it, y'all. I'm going to switch it back over to my face here, and I'll give y'all a couple more minutes, and then I'll head out. I'll head out and probably drink a big ass glass of water and go lay down for a little bit. Let's see. BrightPage says AI is killing the ranking system, right? It's definitely changing things. And that's what I was saying about SEO. I mean, yeah, if you want to have basic SEO knowledge that you can just Google or find out, that's fine. It could be helpful, but it's not like a super necessary thing in most niches. So even to the extent that a client might want you to have it, it's like an easily Googleable thing in a 2025 world. So it's one of those things I think anyone could figure out. And you don't need, I know for me, when I started out with SEO, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to like have all these technical softwares and all this stuff. But really what I found was like a client wanting SEO for a blog post, for example, was giving me the keyword, and they were just like, okay, put it in a header and another header and like weave it into the content a couple times. And it's just like, it's one of those things for me personally that I built up in my head as being this big scary thing. And I was just like, oh, this is actually really chill. So it was cool. Let's see. Ranking was big like 15 years ago. Yeah, SEO was a huge thing when I was starting out, even several years into that. I was doing a lot of blog post copywriting. Yeah, and it was a big deal. A friend of mine sold her SEO agency a few years back to invest in an AI marketing conglomerate. Made $12 million or something. No joke, just in time too. Well, your friend sounds like she knows what she's doing business-wise. So that's awesome. Like, wow, shout out to her. Congrats. 12 million. That is amazing. Let me scroll up one more time. I don't think I missed anything, but I am starting to lose my voice for like the third time tonight. So I think I'm going to head out, y'all. Thank you guys so much for being here. It means so much to me that y'all took the time to hang out and join me for this today. I appreciate it so much. Like I said, I truly mean it. Any support, like showing up live or hitting like on a video or commenting and saying hi or emailing me or whatever, it really means a lot to me. It's something that I don't take for granted because this community has just always been so kind and supportive and like just unproblematic. You know what I mean? Like, I had Michael here modding today, and it was just like, he didn't even really have to like do anything because everyone is just so nice and friendly and supportive. And I think that's really special. And that's something that I've always loved and like treasured about our little corner of the writing centric internet here on YouTube. So yeah, that is all for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for showing up. If you end up having any other questions after I hop off today, which first things first, final reminder, click over now and join Killer Cold Emailing before those bonuses run out. But if you have any other questions, go ahead and pop them down below in the comments. Oh, okay, BrightPage. I wanted to make sure that I was getting your comment first. Still owe my husband for a previous course. Might have to save up for this, but love your approach and think this is totally the way to go. That is great. You're welcome to do that. I will be so excited. Definitely, Oh, whoops, I accidentally opened something weird on the chat. Okay, it just zoomed in on your message for some reason. Expecting a check by Friday. If I can get in, it covers it. Don't want to count my chickens. Yeah, that would be so great. I will have the Afterpay option available then as well. So you can join with Afterpay and Klarna for those like more flexible payment terms. And my goal for people is always like, make it back, you know, like you can use this process to make it back very, very quickly. If you follow it and get these pre-built marketing assets, like you can make this back as quickly as you kind of implement it. So I think that's really exciting, and I would love, love, love to see it inside of the program, because you are just such like a bright light in all of like the live streams and the YouTube comments, and it's just so awesome. You totally helped dissipate the major fear that's held me back. I love that. Oh, I'm so glad to hear it. Thank you so much for sharing and for being here. Joey says, thank you so much. Sorry I got here late, but it was still so worth it. Thank you, and get some rest tonight. I will, y'all. I'm taking my ass to sleep tonight, and I'm going to sleep for like 10 to 12 hours. So y'all will get a newsletter from me probably tomorrow, but I'll probably just pre-schedule it tonight so that I can just like sleep in and like chill out a lot tomorrow. But that's so sweet of y'all. Thank you so much for being so kind and for being here. Remember, Killer Cold emailing is open now for a very short time only. I only typically open it like 2-3 weeks out of the year, if that. So now's the time to get in. That is all for me, my friends. Thank y'all so much for being here, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.